like that. I like that. Woo. Just before we started, Graham was like, walele. A very good morning, Sanbonani Divelang. Welcome to it, your Feel Good Breakfast Show, live, large, and in charge. It's a Wednesday morning.
It is. It's hump day, man. Yeah, we're feeling great. It's a freewheel down to the weekend. And, of course, in case you missed it or you've been sleeping under a rock or been unconscious for the last 3 years, yes, we were back on Monday. Buddy, how are you doing? I'm going to ask you this every day for the next year and a half. You feeling it?
Day 3.
Coming back down to earth?
Feeling so good.
Hey?
Really, really good. And really just amazing to be here and to say good morning, South Africa, every single morning. It's...
Can I just say, because every single person that stopped me yesterday was like, oh, just please, just...
Oh, is it like... Oh, wow.
That's from the fam. That's from the fam. So give them a big hug. Thank you so much for the outpouring of love and support for this man, for the show. It's just been the most wonderful kind of collective experience. So we love you, and we're going to continue on that tip this morning. And in fact, we've got a very powerful show today.
Indeed, we do. We're focusing on single parenting, of course, while we commemorate Women's Month as well in this month of August. We have a clinical psychologist, Fairouz Gabi, and registered psychological counsellor, Shamila Safuddin, who join us for our panel expert discussion to share their experiences as well, and hopefully something that we can learn from.
Yeah, definitely. And if you are a single parent, please share your insights with us. We're going to keep our points of connection open throughout the show. Then, from spring cleaning habits to sprucing up your home with spring summer trends from Woolies, we're going to give you a whole new look and how you can get the lowdown on how to take your home space to that next level, because a new season is coming. We need to refresh our space. So hopefully we're going to refresh yours and your mind this morning. But of course, first of all, we have to connect with you, and we're going to do that with the most amazing young woman that we know. I want to say I hope you had the most brilliant Women's Day yesterday. Zoe, how are you doing?
You're springing.
Oh, doing good. Thank you, gentlemen. You know what? I had a great Women's Day. Thank you. I know I was off yesterday, but I was running a 10-kilometer race, so I am here. I am fresh. The legs are a little tired, but that's not the point. We love to connect with you on social media as well as on WhatsApp. And today's question is, did you grow up with a single parent, or are you a single parent yourself? Please share one of your proudest moments as a single parent, or give a shout out to a partner with a voice note. Our number is 063-408-8863. We would love to hear from you, and of course we will be playing those voice notes throughout the show and take a look at those social media comments coming through. But let's get the morning underway. Here's a first look at your news with Kat.
Thank you very much, Zoe. Let's take a look at those news headlines at 6 o'clock. On the national news front, President Cyril Ramaphosa says South Africa is made up of women who lead from the front. Addressing thousands of women at the National Women's Day commemoration at Richmond in the KZN Midlands, he also congratulated KZN Natal Premier nominee Nomusa Dube-Ncube, who has been announced as the province's preferred Premier candidate following the resignation of Sihle Zikalala last week. Ramaphosa said women were more than capable to lead, and many are now leading positions in various fields, and notably in Parliament, the judiciary, and in sport. Now, the international cricket community has reacted with shock to the death of one of South Africa's most famous international cricket umpires, Rudy Koerten, who was fatally injured in a road accident yesterday morning. He was 73. Now, Koerten and some of his friends were traveling to the Eastern Cape when their car collided head-on with another vehicle on the N2 near Riversdale. 2 other persons also died, and a 4th was seriously injured. Koerten acted as a referee in more than 200 international one-day international matches and more than 100 5-day tests. On the international news front, polls closed at 5 p.m. yesterday in what's been described as a tightly contested election in Kenya. It followed an intense campaign dominated by debates on living costs, unemployment and corruption. The frontrunners for president are ex-Prime Minister Raila Odinga and current Deputy President William Ruto. Kenyans were also electing new parliament and local administrations. Kenya's Election Commission said the turnout in yesterday's elections would probably be around 60%, and there's a 7-day window for the Commission to declare the winner. On the international news front, world-famous Japanese fashion designer Issey Miyake has died of liver cancer, aged 84. Known for his innovative styles and perfume, Miyake built a global fashion brand which included designing Steve Jobs' famous black turtleneck jumpers. Miyake was known to work with traditional and modern fashion techniques during his long career. Born in Hiroshima in 1938, Miyake was just 7 years old when the city was devastated by a US atomic bomb. His mother died of radiation exposure 3 years later. And finally, with dinosaur fever still very much rife right now, especially among young people after the recent release of yet another Hollywood blockbuster on dinosaurs, comes the news that the new Dinosaur Interpretive Centre at the Golden Gate Highlands National Park in Clarence in Free State is nearing completion. Commissioned by Sandparks at a cost of some 83.5 million rand, it displays unique brickwork and design elements telling the story of the history of dinosaurs in the area. The centre is expected to serve as an interactive museum as well as a scientific research station aimed at preserving the remains of the archaeological site where one of the oldest known dinosaur nesting grounds was discovered in 2012. Now, in that year, an excavation site unearthed the 190 million-year-old dinosaur nesting site of a prosauropod dinosaur, Massospondylus. Yes, I spent quite a lot of time on getting that right. The centre is beautifully situated at the bottom of a massive sandstone rock outcrop and has a rooftop of vegetation to further ensure it merges with the surrounding landscape. So certainly one of those sites you need to see when you're passing through the Free State. That's it for the news at 6 o'clock. We'll have another look at the headlines at 7, but right now let's take a look at what's happening in the world of sport. Here's Graham.
Well, we start with a rugby showdown of Jurassic proportions as the Springboks prepare to face the All Blacks once again. And Springbok coach Jacques Ninova, he's made 5 changes for his starting lineup for the second Rugby Championship clash against New Zealand. That, of course, in Johannesburg this time round on Saturday. The 3 rotational switches made by Ninova see Dwayne Vermeulen return back into that squad after recovering from knee surgery, where he now takes over from Jasper Visser, while Bongiwe Mbonambi, he slots back in at hooker to start. Oxen Chair then takes over from Trevor Nyakane at loose head prop. Then the 2 changes in the backline see Jaden Hendrickse coming in at scrum half, and then Jesse Creel starts on the right wing. Frans Malherbe will also earn his 50th Test cap. Then on to football. Kaizer Chiefs put the disappointment of the weekend's loss behind them with a much more clinical performance against Maritzburg United in their 3-0 win last night. Ashley Dupria, Keegan Dolly and Mdududzi Shabalala with the goals for the hosts. Then Swallows, they edged out Cape Town City 3-2 in a 5-goal thriller. Wazim Isaacs and Tsadiso Paichi, they gave the hosts a 2-0 lead before Darwin Gonzalez and then Kanyiso Mayo, they levelled matters. Then Paichi was fouled in the visitors' box with Siboniso Mchadi converting from the spot as late as the 93rd minute. An absolute thriller. Then the other results on the night saw Richards Bay and Mamurumo Gallants, 2 giant slayers there, drawing 0-0. Then on to cricketing news that Cat broke a little bit earlier, and we give it more of a sporting perspective now. Fellow umpires and former players alike have paid tribute to former South African umpire and a legend in the game, Rudy Koetsen, who died in that car accident yesterday morning. The 73-year-old was known as Slow Death because of the time it took for him to raise a finger to indicate a batsman's dismissal. He stood in a then record 331 international matches, including that 108 tests between 1992 and his retirement in 2010. The Proteas wore black armbands in his memory on the first day of a match against England Lions in preparation for the Test series up against England next week. And we certainly send our love and our condolences to his family and the cricketing fraternity. Then on to tennis. It seems like the time has come, or at least that's how she feels. US tennis great Serena Williams announced yesterday that, quote, the countdown has begun to her retirement from the sport. The 40-year-old said in a post on Instagram that, quote, again, there comes a time in life when we have to decide to move in a different direction. Williams made her singles return at Wimbledon in June with a lengthy injury layoff that had led to speculation about her retirement. She says she will still play at the US Open, though in what will likely be her last attempt to equal Margaret Court's incredible record of 24 Grand Slam titles. Can she do it? I think the fans believe. And that's where we'll leave our sporting headlines for now. We'll touch on them again at 7. Let's get the latest on the weather front.
Thank you, Graham. And we start off with some news from the U.S. The U.S. Senate has approved a sweeping $700 billion economic package that includes $369 billion for climate action, the largest investment in U.S. history. The bill aims to cut the country's carbon emissions by 40% by 2030. Some households would receive up to $7,500 in tax credit to buy an electric car or $4,000 for a used car. Billions will also be spent in an effort to speed up the production of clean technology such as solar panels and wind turbines. There will also be $60 billion given to communities that have suffered the most from fossil fuel pollution. The action on climate comes as the U.S. has experienced a wave of extreme weather, including a recent severe heat wave, devastating wildfires in the state of California, as well as lethal flooding in the state of Kentucky that claimed dozens of lives. Well, from environmental news to the head on over to the first look at those sunrise views that you share with us every morning. First up, we have Azelia de Vries from Pearly Beach showing the stunning shot of the pink morning sky. Carolyn out in KZN shared this silhouette of her kitty cat and the pink and yellow colored sky in the distance. France sent us this one from Springs, Johannesburg, with the shadowy trees in the distance and a tangerine lit morning sky. There's also one of our regulars, Sherry Ludick, who shared this one from her front yard out in Kimberley. Just look at those stunning colors filling up the morning sky. Finally, for this morning, we have Chloe Miller, who showcased the Mother City with this crimson lit horizon casting a glow around Table Mountain. What a beautiful video. Thank you for that, Chloe. Well, if you would love to share your sunrise views with us, our WhatsApp line is open. That number is on your screen right now. It's 063 408 8863. Let's get into your temperatures. We head on over to Limpopo. If you're in Polokwane, a low of 8 and a high of 25 can be expected. Mbombela, 12.28. Pretoria, 9.23. Johannesburg, 9.22. It's sunny in Mahikeng, 8's your low, 26 your high. Klerksdorp, 6 with a high of 26. Sunny in Kimberley, a low of 7, a high of 24. Bloemfontein, 1.23. Richards Bay, 14.26. Staying in KZN, Pietermaritzburg, sunny with a high of 28 for today. Durban, 16.25. Mthatha, 8 with a high of 26. East London, 12, reaching a high of 20. Cradock, 4.26. Sunny in Gqeberha, 10's your low, 19 your high. Moving to the Western Cape, George, 10 with a high of 19. Cape Town, expect a rainy day with a low of 10, a high of 15. Worcester, 8 with a high of 18. Sutherland, 3.16. And sunny in Uppington. Your low for today is 7. Your high 28 degrees Celsius. Well, that's where I leave your weather for now. I'll have another update shortly after 7.
In the kitchen,
Yeah.
buddy, I made us something special.
This is what you do. This
I
is
know,
what
man. Because
you do it for everyone?
No, just for you.
Just, okay.
Just
well,
for
I
you.
really
It's not going to last, eh?
I appreciate
Just because it's all novelty and it's all lacquer.
And you know,
please refresh yourself, man, because you got it first.
And you know who needs to be extra appreciated? Single parents out there, and we're going to be talking about that, the experiences of single parents, maybe something that you could learn from. Do share your thoughts with us. 063 408 8863, the
Nailed
WhatsApp
it.
line. Come on,
you got
get
it down,
in
man.
there.
And we both had experience in that space. I love my single mom, and we are going to be celebrating these incredible women, and we're going to be whipping up some eggplant bruschetta.
Yes, please.
What is it? Is it bruschetta eggplant? We don't know.
I don't know, but we allow all emojis. All emojis. Oh, here it is.
Nourish your skin with Ingram's Camphor Cream, enriched with camphor and glycerine. Now with 48-hour moisture to restore dry skin. New look Ingram's. Your skin, your brave.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's so good to be in your company at the start of a brand new day. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday morning, and we're talking about a very important subject, one that's very relevant to us as well. Parenting, which can be tricky at best, but how much trickier can it then become to navigate life as a single parent? Now, the Human Sciences Research Council, HSRC, and the South African Race Relations Institute have found that 60% of South African children have absent fathers, and more than 40% of South African mothers are single parents. This is the reality that we live in.
Completely. And this morning, we have invited in clinical psychologist Fayrouz Gabi and registered psychological counsellor Shamila Safuddin, both single moms and sharing a very special perspective and obviously the intellectual background to be able to translate this for us. So we are so excited to have them on the couch. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And of course, this is a safe place and an open conversation. So we are tackling parenting on your own. If you are, please share your experience, any insights, pressure points. Maybe you can send us a WhatsApp voice note on 063-408-8863. We really would love to hear your perspective.
Absolutely. Ladies, thank you very much once again for being here with us. And yes, we are tackling the single parenting journey from the single mom perspective, which is something that both of you have experienced. And if I could start with you first, Shamila, what has it been like for you?
It's been an interesting journey, and as I was looking at some of the discussion points, I was thinking about where I was about 7 years ago, because I feel like that really almost creates a sense of where you are at. I think that 7 years ago, I was in a very different place. My kids were much younger, so it was quite harrowing. And when I think about it, I often have flashbacks and I think about, like, how did I do that? Like, who was that person back then? And now they're older. They have less sort of physical dependency on me. So it means that I can sort of move around more freely. They can move around more freely. But I also just think that when I look back at that person about 7 years ago, I think about her and I wonder, like, how did she do that? And I realized that so much of my journey has been about developing self-compassion and really just, almost like loving myself through the journey. Because, I came from a very harrowing experience, and now things seem to be just a little bit easier. Still challenging, but easier.
Are you proud?
Very proud, absolutely proud. Feel so grounded in myself. And I think that's what it's done. It's sort of almost like accelerated my self-development and the deepening of the connection and the relationship that I have with myself. So that's what I'm really proud of, because it means that I can show up and be more present with my goals as well.
I was going to say, because we can speak from experience that a single parent does show up, and there have been studies that hint that a single parent shows up a lot more than a dual couple, often because you are focused and you have to go through those challenges. It's like the ultimate boot camp in life.
Absolutely.
And as a parent who is not a single parent, I am in awe of how my mother did it and how you are doing it right now. In the context of the South African narrative, what are those fears? What are those pressures that face a South African mom? And I know there are single dads out there, but the vast majority in South Africa are woman-led households, single female parents. What are those pressures from a South African perspective?
It's tough. I mean, it's tough being a woman in South Africa and then being in charge of kids and needing to protect them. So oftentimes, I think one of the challenges that face us as single moms is how do we, without male in the household, keep our kids safe? How do we go, on trips or just take our kids out without feeling vulnerable in that way? So it's definitely something that I think makes you feel even more vulnerable as a woman in this country when you don't have a spouse, who can actually provide some sort of protection or just deterrence to crime and that sort of thing.
Completely. I mean, there's parks that I won't go to alone if I've got to watch both kids.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the reality is you're a lot more vulnerable as a woman.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
And I mean, you talk about that vulnerability. Yesterday we were talking about some of the challenges that women face in terms of progress within corporate, within just work experience, and then that must be a real fear as well when you think about how am I going to provide for the future of these children when not even my future is certain. I can't even, or it feels like I don't have agency to take control of that. But I want to also tap into some of the positive tools that you might have discovered throughout your personal journeys that have helped you to manage some of these fears and some of these challenges. Could you shed some light on that?
I think for me personally, and what I also just encourage a lot of my clients and friends as well, is that I had to quickly learn to become quite protective of my energy and my time. And those two for me are the commodities that I'm most protective of. And in that way, I've been able to be more specific about who, what, and when I give my energy. My time is obviously very precious. We don't have an extensive amount of time as a single parent, as a single mother. And so it's just being very, very aware of that and very conscious of that and how I spend that. So that's been very positive for me. It means that I show up more boundaried, and I am quite boundaried. What's really helped, and sometimes I get a bit of slack from this from my kids as well as some of my friends, is that my kids have always had a bedtime. And I have a 13 and a 10-year-old, and sometimes they complain, but it's also how I've kind of I held on to my sanity.
Yeah, you ring-fence that time.
You know what I mean? So that meant I had time in the evening to connect with my friends, or just read, or do whatever I wanted to do. So that's some of the positive stuff I've taken.
Which I think it'd also be a great learning point and a teaching for your children for their futures as well.
Very much so.
Hopefully.
Great way to start it off at such an early age. Well, we'll be looking forward to hearing from you about some of the tips that you have, and maybe you want to share them with a parent out there who might be going through a similar experience. 0634088863. Send us your WhatsApp voice notes. We'll tap into them in the next discussion.
All right, and I'll tell you this, single parenting, that's the theme of the day. We know that it's not easy. It's no easy task. So what we're doing is we're lending a helping hand in the kitchen with, a midweek classic that your family's going to love. Yes, that's going to have your family smiling. That's it.
There is a classic mayonnaise that brings out the traditional French in 3 levels of tanginess. The mild classic, the medium classic, the strong classic. Tangy, the way you love it.
Made with love by Clover.
Oh, yes, it's a classic, and your family's going to love it because the classic bruschetta, it does make for a stunning appetizer or, a starter to any meal. And you can enjoy, the same delicious flavors with an eggplant version. And here's how it's done. Zoe Brown knows all about it.
Oh, and listen, this is vegetarian heaven because it's a great alternative. So, Tabsy, in front of you, you've got some olive oil. I would ask for you to put half that olive oil into the bowl.
Okay.
And you'll mix in your salt and pepper, some oregano, as well as some garlic, and then cut that brinjal half lengthwise.
Salt and pepper going in.
It's one of those... I don't know if it's a fruit or a vegetable.
It's one of those confusing ones, right? If we were playing the 5-second game, for example,
I mean, a vegetable.
I would go for veggie or fruit. It depends on the mood.
Many names.
That's it. Anything with many names, I think, can be a vegetable or a fruit all at once. These are actually really, really good. Really, really good.
Okay. So you can do little slithers into the eggplant, and then you will use that mixture you've just made and coat it. So we're going to pop that into the oven for 15 minutes.
Oh, stunning.
And I'm going to work on our fresh component. I've got some fresh tomatoes here cut in half. I'm going to add some fresh, some tinned tomato juice, as well as a little bit of Parmesan.
Oh, it's going to be nice and rich because I am seeing quite a bit of cheese there, eh?
Lots of cheese. I'm going to add some of our mozzarella cheese.
You can never have too much cheese. I mean, and that's a rule. It's a rule that's going absolutely nowhere. You can never have plenty cheese. So go generous, go wild with it. And in fact, we're going to be making use of our Clover Classic mayonnaise to bring all of this together. Because you're wondering, all of this cheese, how are we going to now neutralize it? But we know that it comes in 3 different levels of tanginess. You get that mild, the medium, you get the strong. It really is all about suiting your taste preference.
And you were talking about that tanginess. So we are using our classic mayo, and this is the mild number 1. I'm going to add about 4 tablespoons to it, and I've just been informed by my show producer that an aubergine is actually a fruit.
Oh, is it a fruit?
We're wondering, fruit. so confusing whether it's a fruit or a veggie.
I feel like we've just added a whole new family member to the fruit family. What do you think? Have you always thought it was a fruit? Let us know. Expresso Morning Show SABC3. Now, that Clover Classic, we do know that it's a versatile one to use, and it really does enhance flavors. It's all about bringing you that tasty, mouth-watering food that your family deserves, and I love it. I love it for that.
So I'm adding a little bit of sugar just to balance out the acidity of the tomato, the tinned tomato that we used. And then I'm going to add a bit of fresh basil. And we had popped the brinjal into the oven for about, I love how I'm using all the names now, into the oven for about 15 minutes. And this is what it looks like. So we're going to finish it off by adding our mixture. Can I ask you to just scoop it on top?
Yeah. So how much of it do you want going on top?
I think be quite generous, because we're now pretending that this is what otherwise would have been your sourdough to make your bruschetta.
Okay, I see. So you really do want to fill that up really nicely. If you want the recipe, please do go onto expressoshow.com. What we've done there is we've listed all of the ingredients. You'll see you don't need too many ingredients, as well as a step-by-step on how to achieve this recipe.
So I'm going to add some breadcrumbs for us, and that's really just going to give it a little bit of a crispy element. And we'll pop this back into the oven. And when it comes out, I would say another 10 to 15 minutes. You just want it to crisp up and golden brown, and the cheese to melt.
Right, I'm going to do that, and that's what the final product looks like. How impressive.
Very impressive.
Quick to make as well.
We've got an amazing, and of course you can also make your own little mayo sauce if you love the dipping, but I will give it a little bit of a cut.
Let us know how that magic has all come together. I do love the fact that we're embracing a lot of the sort of fresher foods even during the winter season, right? So it's not just for the summer that you leave the vegetables and fruits, I suppose. You really can create some hearty, wholesome meals even during this time. How's that? Because I see it in your face.
It's a winning combination. I mean, the minute you put cheese, tomato, some fresh basil and a bit of garlic together, now add the eggplant to it, it's a winning combo. It's very good.
Well, that's it. There you have it. A winning combo, if you like. Listen, if you missed any of the steps involved in bringing that lovely recipe together, we've prepared that on expressoshow.com, but of course we've also prepared a recap for you. Check this out.
Made with love by Clover. Oh, you can make my day.
hope you'll always know how much I love you. I hope that you never stop learning and growing, that you'll be brave and joyful and kind, and that one day when you look at me and I look at you, we'll love the wonderful you that you've become. It all begins with purity.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, it is indeed. Welcome back to it as we continue our discussion with clinical psychologist Feiruz Gaby and registered psychological counsellor Shamila Safuddin. We're talking about the challenges often single moms face and how they can better navigate through this journey of parenting, single parenting as well. And of course, we've asked you to share your thoughts with us, how you are going about tackling parenting on your own. Share your experiences via our WhatsApp voice note line 063 408 8863. Ladies, as I said, we've got some insights that we're going to get from our viewers out there. So let's listen to that first voice note, and I believe it comes from Busi.
Good morning, family. My name is Busi Ngwenya, based in Rustenburg. I grew up with a single mom, and I would like to send a heavenly shout out to her. Her name was Patty Constant Ngwenya. Mom, things are not the same, but we are hanging in there, and you will always remain in our hearts. Thank you, family. Enjoy your day. Bye.
Ralebocha Oosbusi all the way in Rustenburg there. And I think that's something that I think if I could just relate to from a personal point of view, the worry as a single parent over whether your children, number one, are you doing enough for your children, whether one day they'll feel that you've done enough for them. Is that something that each of you might have maybe struggled with as a single parent?
I think definitely, and I think what compounds that is the guilt often around, you know, this is not the plan for you guys. I wanted you to grow up with both your mom and dad.
Right.
And so it can make us overcompensate and try and do more. But I think what I would tell viewers that the most important thing you can do for your kids is actually to look after their mom, because you know, overstretched, irritable mom is not doing our kids a very good service. And so while we focus on the children and think, oh, you know, I need to actually be looking after them and doing more for them, it's important to remember that whatever you plow into yourself will inevitably, you know, fall onto the kids.
And I think this also speaks to a little bit of what you spoke about earlier on, Shamila, about protecting your energy and your time, right? Because as a single mom, as a single parent, you want to be okay first, so that, what's that thing that they say on the airplane, first put on your mask before you put on anybody else's mask, right? And essentially this experience as a single parent is a massive change, and it shapes your life in a massive way. What would you say to a woman out there, a single parent out there, who's feeling stuck in their story, like there is no way forward?
This is your evolution. This is your path. You know, for better or worse, we got to make do with what's present in our lives. And the argument against that is what makes it harder. The resistance to that is what makes it harder.
Right.
And so acceptance is a journey, and I know that. You know, you don't just get to a space where, oh, I've accepted. There's days where I still sit in these challenges, and I have to talk to myself and say, your life doesn't look like everybody else's. This family is not conventional. And you've got to give yourself the time and space to just be compassionate and kind and show up in the best way that you can. And your presence is what matters with your children, you know? So I feel like that's what we need to focus on. The expectation has to be adjusted. However you became a single parent, the expectation has to be adjusted, and you've got to almost like revisit that and revisit your intention around that and how you now want to create a family.
Yeah.
What does that look like now for my kids? And as I say, have discussions with your kids about it. Talk openly about the fact that it's different for us.
We're going to get to that, because I really want to touch on that point in a second. We do have another voice note from Michelle. Let's hear it.
Good morning, Expresso family. This is Michelle from Eden Park. My proudest moment as a single parent is seeing my children turn out to be the kind of children that any parent would be proud of, despite all the trials and tribulations that we went through. I can just thank God for His amazing grace and mercy upon our lives. And I would like to give a big shout out to all the single parents that's out there. I know it hasn't been easy, but we can just thank God for always being there for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. That is absolutely lovely. I love that motivation that she ended off there with. What I wanted to touch on with what we said earlier on is how you speak to your children as a single parent, as a single mom, single dad. I think that there's a danger, a potential danger in how you relate the circumstances of the breakdown. Let's not call it the failure, but the breakdown of your romantic relationship and how that translates into the messaging you give across to your children. What would you say is critical to consider when you are, especially when your children might have been very young at the time, and now they're coming of age and they're starting to understand life? How do you introduce certain conversations, important conversations about the absent parent into their lives?
It's a tough one, and it obviously depends on the circumstances. Some dads are more present than others, but I think it's really important to always speak about their father with regard and respect. It's such a big part of a child's sense of themselves, and if that isn't done, it does affect the child. I think also what has to be focused on is that, it just didn't work out between your dad and I, and we thought about things and realized we'd be much better parents to you, or both, or you as the child, if we actually didn't live together. And so it's vital to speak with regard and respect and care about the other parent.
And then
can I just add? I mean, I think that absolutely, as Ferris is saying, I think it changes depending on the age.
Yeah.
So when my kids were 3, 4, 5, it was, mom and dad don't necessarily feel, they want to live together anymore. It's it's simple. Now that they're older, there's more comprehension. They have an understanding. They spend time with their dad.
Yeah.
So, the conversation now is a little bit deeper and a little bit, maybe just a little bit more honest, because I also think it's really important to ground them in the reality, and be real about it with our children.
Yeah. Ladies, thank you so much for the time you've spent with us. I think just from the short conversations we've had, it's clear resilience, self-reliance, self-awareness, self-appreciation and love is at the cornerstone of navigating this very, very difficult time. And you are absolutely fantastic, fantastic individuals, and I'm sure fantastic moms to your kids as well. So thank you for sharing the time with us.
Thank you.
And hopefully this conversation has definitely resonated with you at home, and that you're able to say it's okay, and you do feel empowered to start thinking and doing things a little bit differently. And one of the best things that parents can do for their kids is get them involved in a sport they love. Get them out there, away from the TV. Outside is where it's at.
Determination, teamwork, tenacity, endurance, character. These are just a few of the important life lessons that children learn through sport. And as long as your children are involved in sports activities, they are in a world where they try to be the best that they can be. Joining us this morning to chat about how the Nestle Milo team are seeking to shine a spotlight on lessons learned in sport is Category Marketing Manager Lauren van Wyk. Lauren, welcome back to the show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I love you guys because you are as excited about sport as I am. It's been a cornerstone of my career, but as someone who was never really gifted at sports, it's given me so much. So yes, you are preaching to the choir, but break it down for me. Why is sport so important in our lives, do you think?
Absolutely. Besides the health benefits of sport,
obvious, yeah,
and being physically active and all the things that come with it, there's so much more, as you just mentioned, that you learn from sport. And especially for kids to learn that at a young age, that grit, determination, perseverance, all of those things, it really sets them up for lifelong success. So it's not really about being the champion of the world, which you can be, but it's also about being able to use that in every career that you take forward in your life.
And you'll need it. You need that training camp at some point in your life. Otherwise, you get hit by this massive shock when you enter into the real world that you're going to face these challenges. You also need to be a team player sometimes.
Absolutely.
You learn those social lessons as well, and you kind of learn what kind of person you really are in those crunch moments. So much of what we've spoken about hinges on, and this is obviously a cornerstone of where you guys are coming from, is the use of energy and how much energy little people consume and use throughout their day. It's mind-blowing. Nestlé Milo goes even further. You've kind of given us the understanding of why we need the energy, and you've created that pathway with sport. Why is this? And I mean, it makes sense to me, but for your guys, the passion that you have in this space speaks volumes. Why are you so passionate about sport specifically?
As Nestlé, we believe in nutrition, health and wellness. So we really want all our consumers to live that wonderful life. As a Nestlé brand, as Milo, we provide that energy, and we know that sport is a great teacher. So really we want to engage kids, we want to equip them, and we want to inspire them to learn through sport so that they can be their best that they can be in life.
So let's get practical here. What role does Nestlé Milo play in feeding that notion of an active lifestyle?
So Nestlé Milo globally has run a grassroots campaign, and this has lasted for years. In many countries, more than 65 years. In South Africa and in Africa, it's at its infancy. So we really believe that getting at the grassroots, so right at the entrance stage where kids are being exposed to sports and are able to be active and able to learn all those life skills that are going to set them up for success in life, it is absolutely critical to be in that space. And that's why we are so passionate about it.
And you're creating that relationship. I often think when I look back at my own physical journey, I wish someone had taught me about my body, taught me how to use my body and all this wonderful kind of the set of tools that we're blessed with. And I love the fact that you're doing it on the most grassroots level. Talk to me about Milo's commitment to sport, because this plays out on multiple levels.
Yeah, so you know, we had a bit of a setback during COVID, as you know. Everything stopped. Nobody could do anything. But with what we did with Nestlé Milo is we also have our home ground platform, which is a digital platform which actually we house it on our website right now. And through this platform, we were able to show parents that they don't need a massive sports field and loads of equipment to be active with their kids or to get their kids active. You can do it in your living room, in the little spaces that you have, to keep that going and to keep that energy flowing and to keep that active lifestyle, because you're still learning lessons through all of that. So it was very important for us to keep that going through the space where we were during lockdown. And now that lockdown has eased off, we are able to now really get back out there and get all our South Africans active again.
And we appreciate it so much more. Most important question I'm going to ask you all day, all year in fact. Milo, hot or cold?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I love Milo cold.
I'm cold as well. It's fine. You can stay. I believe everything she said now. Lauren, thank you so much for all of your efforts in this space. As a parent, never mind someone who lived an active life or has lived an active life and still does, but from my kids' perspective, I love the fact that this is the culture they're being born into. So thank you so much. Really appreciate your efforts. Grit that you learn in sport. You keep it for life. That's the gift. It's the ability to stick with a goal over a long period. And it's an important indicator of achieving anything worthwhile throughout your life. And remember, you can still win that Sportsman's Warehouse Trolley Dash worth 20,000 Rand for both you and your school. It's giving me goosebumps. Simply buy a tin of Nestlé Milo, enter the competition by following the instructions, and you can find all those terms and conditions that apply on their website. So go and check it out. And remember to also keep an eye out for the Nestlé Milo. It's go time teams at your local shopping centre. They will get you moving. Look, it's not cold, but it'll still do. Lauren, cheers to you and your team.
It's go time with a cup of Nestlé Milo at breakfast. Give your kids the energy to go further.
Milo! Milo! Only you can make my day!
Welcome back at your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Oh my goodness, yes, it's another installment of the Culinary Hotline Bling. It still goes in. Loving it. Oh man, so great to be in the kitchen again. And this morning, we're celebrating women in the food industry. And one woman who is known for the best cookies in town is Mama Bongi. And if you have any questions for her or for Chef Clem, please do send them to us. Join the discussion on our voice notes. That number 063-408-8863. Mama Bongi, good morning. How are you?
How are you?
Very, very well. Chef Clem? It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Great to see you, but I'm going to focus all of my attention on
please do,
this
please
lovely
do.
lady over here, who's, as I said, well known for your baking, which you love very, very much, baking beautiful cookies. But cooking is also something that you're quite passionate about, isn't it?
I really loved cooking since from young.
Yeah. And
when I was young, yeah.
Why do you think you fell in love with cooking when you were young?
It was just my passion. I just loved cooking to make. Maybe I liked eating too much, maybe.
No. And of course, making people smile with your delicious food as well. And we're going to explore one of these recipes that you're going to share with us this morning, which involves one of my favorite ingredients, baby spinach. Tell me about what you're going to prepare for us right now.
Okay, I'm going to make you the phyllo pastry spinach.
Okay, lovely. All right, what do we need? Where do we start?
So, we are going to start with the blanching of our spinach.
Our spinach over there. So in the pan, you've got what looks like?
There's the butter.
Butter and
so there's butter and a bit of olive oil.
Okay.
So I'm going to batch it.
Excellent, excellent.
Can I just say there's one technique that I absolutely love about this is the butter goes in and you toast the butter a little bit.
Yes.
You get so much flavour when your butter turns a little brown.
Right.
That nuttiness, that you can smell it.
Oh,
and
it smells so good.
And you can see it's kind of like, and those are all the milk solids. And
I was about to ask what that was. I thought it was garlic.
No, but we're going to add some garlic. We're definitely adding some garlic to it. I love when we use brown butter. And Mama Bonga, actually, I don't want to ask too many questions, but in these amazing cookies, do you also use brown butter?
No, we use the butter, unsalted butter.
I feel like there's so many secrets.
Yeah,
these are so legendary.
They look amazing. They look absolutely amazing.
I can't, we digress. I can't go there just yet. Okay. Can I be your chef? Can I do this for you?
You can, please.
Okay, cool.
And you direct
So we
it.
just, so just put the,
Does the garlic go in first?
Yeah. The garlic first.
We got some garlic going there with some?
With a bit of chili. Because this one we are going to use it mostly on the pastry.
When you say a bit, can I add all of this?
No. Just a pinch.
Okay.
Just a pinch.
All right.
Yes.
So that's going to make sure that we have a little bit of heat.
A pinch of it.
All right, and the spinach goes in.
And spinach goes in.
I must say, what I always love about spinach recipes, whether it is that you're cooking with it like we are now or making smoothies, is that you can always have a ton of spinach in any given recipe because it always finds its way to just kind of like shrinking into
a
smaller bite-sized chunk. And then I feel better about myself eating something like that because all of the greens are in there.
So true.
All right, what do we have
And then
here?
our salt. No, this one is for later.
For later?
Yes, just a bit of salt.
A little bit of salt.
Yes.
Do you want to? You can go ahead for that.
There we go.
So I know that you're adding a little bit of salt because you've got another filling that Kat's going to put together for us, which has feta
We are going to also put a bit of
All right. Do you want to talk us through?
So this is what I'm going to be doing here.
So here, this is our phyllo pastry. So we need to just grease
that, okay?
Yeah.
So we've got is this olive oil that we're greasing with?
That is olive oil.
So is it okay if I pour a little bit here and then I use the brush?
That's a brush.
Is that enough?
Do you have the pepper?
Okay, let's give it a bit of a greasing all around. Okay, and then obviously to prep the phyllo pastry, you've kind of put it in a wet cloth.
Yes.
All right, is that it right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Next up, what do we do?
Our paper towel.
Paper towel. Well, paper towel, we need...
Paper towel.
Oh, you mean this? Okay.
Yes.
And we're going to
put on top of here. We need to lay there.
All right.
Then we can put our phyllo pastry on this one.
Can I trim it for you?
Please.
Go ahead.
There we go.
We've got the phyllo pastry over here.
And where's olive oil?
Olive oil is right over here. Do we need to...
We just put a bit, then we also brush.
Clem, are you ready?
Go for it.
I'm going to go for it while you do that. So a little dollop of olive oil.
That's enough.
Nice,
just
nice.
brush.
Let's do this. The Kat's got his little brush there. Look at us working
Lovely
together.
stuff.
There we go.
Okay, you hold it down, and then we're just going to...
Yeah, just a bit of brush.
Would you hire us to work in your kitchen?
Definitely.
I'm so ready.
We are doing it, definitely, yeah.
I'm so ready.
I am going to hire you.
Okay, next up, Mama Bongi.
So then you lay also this The phyllo pastry, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to trust Clem with that. Or do I just take it as it is?
No, you just open...
One sheet.
One sheet.
You see? All right, one sheet of phyllo pastry. And this is why you need it in the water, right?
The one thing that I think about phyllo pastry is if it does end up tearing, it's okay.
It's okay,
Don't
yes.
cry about it, because you can add another layer over it, so you're going to fold those
Yes, it's going
cracks.
to be still fine, yes.
How's that? Ooh.
I think we should have opened it all like this, then
This
we can...
way. Clem, this is where I need your help, seriously.
Let me jump in. Tell you what, I'm going to jump in.
You do that. You do that.
I need you to work on that filling.
Okay. So then, you just, these are our 5 eggs.
Yes.
Then we throw in the feta.
The feta?
Yes.
Feta goes in. Yes.
Bit of pepper.
Pepper goes in there. Just a little bit more. Bit of salt.
Bit of salt.
Bit of salt.
A bit, yeah.
That should be right, because obviously the
That's
feta
right, yeah.
is very salty as well.
Yes, also, just throw all of it.
All of it in. What spicing is that? What
It's
herb
the
is that?
oregano.
Oregano herb.
Then you scramble.
Okay, there we go. So we get it. So this is going to be part of our filling that we are going to mix together with the...
With the spinach, yes.
Excellent. Okay. That is looking pretty...
It's looking good.
It's looking good. And the spinach smells amazing. I love that you don't skimp on the garlic, and the garlic is in there as well. I feel like
You
it's
can
very...
also sprinkle a bit of pepper.
Yes.
Where?
Into
the...
this phyllo pastry.
Oh, okay. More layers of seasoning and flavor.
Cayenne pepper, cayenne pepper.
Cayenne pepper, yes.
See, now, I like this. I like this.
Yes, just a bit of
There
cayenne
you go.
pepper. Yeah, this is fine.
Okay.
Okay, all
Then
right.
we need our
Spinach.
spinach.
Okay. Ready with the spinach? That
I'm
needs
coming
to
to
go.
you. There we go.
Are you coming to me?
And then, Kat, if you can just grab your spatula.
There we go.
And you can go for it, go for it, go for it.
All of it, get it in there. So at this point, I'd be worried about the eggs scrambling, but you don't need to, because you're adding the heat to the eggs.
No, you're right, though, but I feel like we're going to mix it fast enough that it won't get a chance to scramble.
No pressure, Kat. There we
I love this, I love this. Okay.
Looking good.
Yes.
All right.
Then you can put a bit of the...
This cheese?
Yes.
Into...
Yes.
As well. Okay. By the way, you can catch up on this recipe on our website, expresso.com. All of it?
Yeah, you can put all of it.
All right, let's go with all the cheese. So we got double cheese in here.
Also, our nuts.
In here as well?
Yes.
Into the filling. All of them?
Yes.
There we go. Get them in there. Mix them up nicely. And then how do we put it all together?
It's never wrong. It's nice. You have to put more. Then we're done.
All right.
So we need more for this final.
We're going to totally do that for you. I'll work on that. Kat's got the filling. So
All right.
if everything just goes all together, roll it up together, you bake it, and then it looks like this beautiful creation.
Okay,
here.
I tell you what, we're going to actually put it together in our next segment as well. Remember to keep those voice notes coming on 0634088863. Of course, we'll be completing all of this in the next segment of the Culinary Hotline. Bling!
Ding, ding, ding!
So we...
Take lashes higher. New Revlon Eyes Wide Open Mascara. The curved brush volumizes and lifts lashes vertically for a wide-eyed lash look. Hemp seed oil conditions for healthy-looking lashes. Go higher. New Revlon Eyes Wide Open Mascara.
Nourish your skin with Ingram's for Men, enriched with triple glycerine for 48-hour moisture and no stickiness. New look Ingram's. Your skin, your brave.
Introducing new Ingram's hemp oil range to nourish dry skin.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, it is. Welcome back to it, your feel-good breakfast show. It's Expresso. We're live here on S3. It's all about the family and the home today. So we're going to be zoning in a bit later on how to care for your family, especially during the winter season. It becomes very important.
Very, very important. That and a whole lot more coming up on your feel-good breakfast show. But let's take another look at those morning headlines.
Just gone 7 o'clock, time to take a look at the news headlines on this Wednesday morning. On the national news front, the Western Cape Minister of Infrastructure, Tertius Simmers, says key road projects currently underway in the central Karoo are progressing well. These include routine maintenance costing some 250 million rand on the N12, which links traffic coming from the N1 towards Oudtshoorn. Simmers says the project has created 317 job opportunities, 176 for youths and 87 for women. One of the appointed subcontractors is a 100% women-owned enterprise. Simmers said sustainable economic opportunities for local communities were also being created by the road projects. In other news, President Cyril Ramaphosa says SA is made up of women who lead from the front. Addressing thousands of women at the National Women's Day commemoration at Richmond in the KwaZulu-Natal Midlands, he also congratulated KZN National Premier nominee Nomusa Dube-Ngcuka, who has been announced as the province's preferred premier candidate following the resignation of Sihlezi Galala last week. Ramaphosa said women were more than capable to lead, and many are now in leading positions in various fields, notably in parliament, the judiciary and in sport. On the international news front, Donald Trump has said his Florida home was raided by the FBI in a dramatic escalation of the legal investigations into the former U.S. president. Trump said yesterday evening that a larger group of FBI agents were at his Mar-a-Lago house in Palm Beach and had broken open a safe. The search is reportedly linked to an investigation of his handling of classified material. The FBI and the Department of Justice have not yet commented, and several boxes were seized, but no doors were damaged, and the search concluded by late afternoon. On the international news front, polls closed at 5 p.m. yesterday in what's been described as a tightly contested election in Kenya. It followed an intense campaign dominated by debates on living costs, unemployment and corruption. The frontrunners for president are ex-Prime Minister Raila Odinga and current Deputy President William Ruto. Kenyans were also electing new parliament and local administrations. Kenya's election commission said the turnout in yesterday's elections would probably be around 60%, and there is a 7-day window for the Commission to declare a winner. Now, a few weeks ago, we brought you the news on the UK Dog Surfing Championships. Well, last weekend, it was time for the top dogs to gather at the World Dog Surfing Championships held in sunny California in the United States. The event, staged at Pacifica State Beach near San Francisco, saw wave-riding pooches judged on everything from technique to confidence and size of their wave. Mutts and pedigrees lined up to hang 10 in the best of the best. And the championship, running since 2016, also gives rescue dogs the chance to find a new home. Now, there was a huge turnout for the championships this year, with many rescue dogs being adopted and some great dog surfing teams as well. Judging by these action shots that you're seeing, we have to agree that it really is an event worth attending. And all we need to do now in South Africa is maybe host our own dog surfing championship, and surely our canines, well, we hope that they could really break the surf and do the cowabunga with the rest of them out there. Well, that's it for the news right now. Let's take a look at what's happening in the world of sport. Here's Graham.
Every dog has his day, Cat. Let's find out who's going to get their nod in the next big challenge for the Springboks. Springbok coach Jacques Ninova has made 5 changes to his starting lineup for the second Rugby Championship clash against New Zealand in Johannesburg this coming Saturday. The 3 rotational switches made by Ninova see Dwayne Vermeulen returning back into that squad after recovering from his knee surgery, and he takes over from Jasper Visser in the starting lineup. Bongi Mbaname slots back in at hooker, and Oxen Che takes over from Trevor Nyakane at at loose head prop. Then 2 changes in the back line. Jaden Hendricks gets another nod coming in at scrum half, and then Jesse Creel back in the fold, starting out on the right wing. Then Frans Malherbe will also be running out to earn his 50th Test cap. Then on to football. Kaizer Chiefs put the disappointment of the weekend's loss behind them with a much more clinical performance against Maritzburg United in a 3-0 win last night. Ashley Dupria, Keegan Dolly and Umdudutsi Shabalala with the goals for the hosts. Then Swallows, they edged out Cape Town City 3-2 in a 5-goal thriller. Wasim Isaacs and Chariso Baichi gave the hosts a 2-0 lead before Darwin Gonzalez and Canyiso Mayo then levelled matters. Baichi was fouled in the visitors' box with Siboniso Mchali converting from the spot as late as the 93rd minute for the win. The other results on the night saw newcomers Richards Bay and Marumo Gallants drawing 0-0. Then a tragic story on the cricketing front. Former umpires and players alike paid tribute to former South African umpire Rudy Kutsen, who tragically passed away in a car accident yesterday morning. The 73-year-old was known as the slow death because of the time it took him to raise that finger to indicate a batsman's dismissal. Absolutely agonizing seconds, and he stood in a then record 331 international matches, including 108 tests, and some of the most memorable for South Africa between 1992 and its retirement in 2010. The Proteas wore black armbands in his memory on the first day of their match against the England Lions. Of course, that in preparation for the Test series against England next week. And then finally on to tennis. It seems that she has made a decision. US tennis great Serena Williams announced yesterday that, quote, the countdown has begun to her retirement from the sport. The 40-year-old said in a post on Instagram that, and we quote again, there comes a time in life when we have to decide to move in a different direction. Williams made her singles return at Wimbledon in June after a lengthy injury layoff that led to speculation about her retirement at the time. She says she will still play at the US Open, though in what will likely be her last attempt to equal the great Margaret Court's record of 24 Grand Slam titles. Can she do it? Of course she can. She's Serena Williams, and we'll watch that space. But that's where we leave our sport for now. Let's see how the action out on the roads is heating up and get the latest on the traffic front.
Thank you, Graham. Well, let's start off with traffic in Gauteng, Pretoria. There's a stationary vehicle on the N1 southbound. It's before Rigel Avenue, and the right lane is currently closed and it's causing delays. Please be patient on the road this morning. Moving to the Western Cape in Bellville on the R300 northbound, there's some congestion heading towards the N1 incoming ramp. Now, the road's also wet this morning, so please maintain a safe following distance and make sure your headlights are on. And then if you are in KwaZulu-Natal and Ashburton, there's a vehicle broken down on the M3 eastbound, and this is before the Ashburton off-ramp. Heavy delays can be expected. Please allow for some extra travel time this morning. That's where I leave your traffic for now. Another update coming your way, but first, let's look at your weather. And some good news on the climate front is that Australian Institute of Marine Science has found that coral has recovered from storms and bleaching events to record levels across much of Australia's famous Great Barrier Reef. A survey just released has found that the reef's northern and central parts have the highest amount of coral cover since monitoring began 36 years ago. This comes as excellent news because after the fourth mass bleaching in 6 years was confirmed in March, marine scientists had grave concern about its recovery. Unfortunately, coral cover in the southern part of the reef has decreased. The institute warned, though, that the new coral is particularly vulnerable, meaning that the progress could be quickly undone by climate change and other threats. It said these latest results demonstrate the reef can recover if conditions allow, but warned that acute and severe disturbances such as climate change are becoming more frequent and longer. Well, from your news from the Great Barrier Reef, we now bring it back to your South African shores. For your 7 a.m. update, let's look at those sunrises that were sent in. And this one came through from one of our regulars, Emil Jones from Buccleuch in Johannesburg, showcasing his signature photo with the sun peeking through from behind the branches out in the distance. Catherine Hunt shared this photo from Port Shepstone. Look at that array of colors filling up the morning sky. sky. Tony Melville from J-Bay shared this sky-filled photo with bright pink and orange hues. And finally, Corinne sent us this one from Chatsworth, Durban, with this navy blue sky just as the sun begins to rise, causing a bright orange glow across the horizon. Thank you for those sunrise photos. If you would love to continue and share yours, please WhatsApp it to us. That number is on your screen right now. It's 063 408 8863. Let's look at those temperatures. Polokwane, your low for today is 8, your high 25. Mbombela 12 with a high of 28. It's sunny in Pretoria, 9, 23. Johannesburg 9 with a high of 22. Sunny in Mahikeng, 8's your low, 26 your high. Klerksdorp 6 with a high of 26. Kimberley 7, 24. Bloemfontein 1 reaching a high of 23. It's sunny in Richards Bay, 14, 26. Pietermaritzburg 9, 28. Durban sunny, 16's your low, 25 your high. Mthatha 8 reaching a high of 26. East London 12 with a high of 20. Cradock 4 reaching a high of 26. Gqeberha 10 reaching a high of 19. If you're in George, 10's your low, 19 your high. Cape Town expect rain for today, 10 with a high of 15. Worcester 8 with a high of 18. Sutherland 3 reaching a high of 16. And Uppington sunny conditions with a low of 7. A high of 28 degrees Celsius. Well, that's where I leave your weather for now. I'll have a final update for you shortly after 8.
Introducing new Panado Pediatric Syrup 5ml sachets. They're really convenient to pack and easy to use, so you're always prepared for pain and fever anytime, anywhere.
Now, with the winter season in full swing, our family members are at risk of catching a cold or the flu, or probably have caught it already, especially if you've got young kids. So the experts are here to lend parents a helping hand and advice when it comes to caring for our family. And general practitioner Dr. Pari Ahmad is in studio to give all the best tips on how to combat colds and flu this winter season. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us. Save the world. It feels like everyone is sick, and we had a pediatric professor in studio yesterday saying that pretty much kids get sick, up until the age of 6 once every month. Everyone is sick at the moment. It just gets handed around from family member to family member, which makes kind of dealing with the situation and being preventative so much more important. What are the most common kind of ailments going around right now? What are we kind of facing in this winter battleground?
Well, Graham, we have the common flu, we have colds, we still have COVID as well.
Lest we forget, yeah.
And secondary infections like pneumonia, bronchitis, etc. And I couldn't agree more. Prevention is always better than cure.
Completely. So we're trying to do what we can to boost the immune system. As a parent, there is something heartbreaking because you know how awful you feel when you're sick. And when you see your little one going through that as well, you just want to be able to help them to feel better. You know a sickness is going to run its course. You can do whatever you can to kind of speed up that process. But what can we do to help them? I know paracetamol is something that I've lent on so many times as a parent. What is the value of paracetamol when it comes to treating pain and fever?
So paracetamol is invaluable. It is something that's an absolute must-have at home, especially, so let's look at the kids, for example. Kids can often suffer from febrile seizures when they get a very high fever. It's a traumatic experience for parents, and it's essential to have some paracetamol at home, and also tepid sponge them, put them in a lukewarm bath, etc. And then in terms of symptomatic pain relief, paracetamol is excellent. There are also certain adults who cannot rely on anti-inflammatories and other medication like opioids for pain relief due to side effects and contraindications. So paracetamol is a safe option for them.
And it's essential. I mean, during the phase of pregnancy as well, there's been so many times actually that we've lent on this. I call it the OG in the pain management system because it really does work. That being said, though, what is the correct dosage, or how do we kind of follow that arc throughout our life journey?
Okay, so the best thing to do is actually just to look at the leaflet and follow the dosage instructions. It's going to vary for kids. It's going to vary for
for adults. So that would be the best.
Yeah, read the label. There's a reason why it's there.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I love that. So when looking at a holistic approach for battling colds and flu, what are those kind of heavy hitters? What should we be adding to the mix there in terms of minerals, vitamins? How can we give our family the best defense to help them preempt and then deal with the nasties when they come around?
Okay, so Graham, you said the key word. The key word is holistic, right? So let's look at physically. So we know that lots of stress, a poor diet, a sedentary lifestyle, you know, all of those things are going to weaken our immune system. Excessive alcohol consumption, cigarette smoking, etc. They're going to weaken our immune system. And as a result, try to boost your immune system. Try to go back to basics, sleep, get enough rest, hydrate, follow a good diet, and take a multivitamin. So something that contains zinc, vitamin C, vitamin D is a good multivitamin. In kids, you get chewies. For the adults, there's just so many options. And the other thing that I'd like to emphasize is mental health. Mental health, having a good support system to take care of you when you're ill. Also, looking in mindfulness, breathing, all of those things that can just help keep your mind strong and prevent illness.
Because you're going to need
really
to rely on it,
important.
yeah. And I love the fact that everything that you've listed is not some far-out magical cure, some great journey, mental journey that you've gone on. These are small, simple steps that you can take.
Absolutely, and medication and vitamins play a key role, but it's getting the basics right consistently that counts the most.
Consistency is key. I absolutely love it. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us. I do feel a lot better. You have confirmed what I've been proving in my own parenting or parental journey with my own kids, but it's vital to know what you're dealing with, and I think getting all the information we need to combat colds and flu this winter season has never been easier. There is support. There are ways that you can help your little ones especially just feel a little bit better and get over those colds and flu that much quicker. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
There are those who care for others, ask nothing in return, but might be in need of some care themselves. If you feel that someone in your community deserves some recognition for all they do, then Panado can't wait to hear from you. Simply reply to the Afternoon Express Facebook and Twitter pages, tell us who they are, what they do for their community, and why they should receive some care with the hashtag #ADoseOfCare and the hashtag PanadoSA. They can stand a chance of winning a dose of care to the value of 5,000 Rand from Panado. Afternoon Express will then add another 5,000 Rand towards the charity or nominee of choice, so they too can share in some care. Don't miss the Panado hashtag #ADoseOfCare competition running from the 1st of August right through to the 15th of November on Afternoon Express. T's and C's apply.
What's beta-glucan? Hello, do you know what beta-glucan is? What is beta-glucan? No one knows what beta-glucan is.
Beta-glucan is a natural fiber in jungle oats that helps lower cholesterol and keep hearts well.
Jungle, do life with heart.
had the great privilege last week to have a front row seat to watch the Golden Cloud Christmas in July edition finalists take baking to a whole new level. Forget being amateur bakers. We saw pros at work. The contestants truly understood the assignment of tasty, innovative, creative, and truly beautiful bakes, and they gave each other a good run for their money. It was a fierce competition. Well, today we are sitting down with the winning duo who walked away with that grand prize worth 50,000 Rand. Can we get a massive round of applause for Adrian and Simone? Oh, I'm so proud of you guys.
Thank you.
We got to see the journey. We got to see the journey start long before you did, with thousands of people entering. When you entered, did you think that you guys could win this? Adrian, how did you feel when you first entered, and now that you've done it, how good does that feel?
I think it felt like a long shot, because what we did before we entered was we went through all of the entries, like we searched the hashtag and everything, and we saw, like, okay, no, this is a shot in the dark. But then we got an email to say that we must send through our details, and we were so happy. We really were so happy. And then we fought for it. We're like, no, we want this.
Yep.
You had the mettle. You faced challenges. You had a couple of very close calls.
Yeah.
I think what shone through for me was watching how you handled it as a duo. The chemistry and the love and the tenderness, the care that you handled every situation and each other was amazing. There's a lot of love going on here. I got to know, how did you guys meet? How did this duo become a duo? Simone, how did you first connect?
Cake.
Cake?
I ordered a cake from Adrian for my niece for her 3rd birthday. So I collected the cake and we met for the first time. And from there, it was just...
Who made the first move?
She did.
Oh, really? Just like in the kitchen, she dominates. She runs from the front. I love that. There were a lot of highs, a lot of lows throughout this process, a couple of surprises in the mix. What's been the highlight of this journey?
I think the highlight was how we came through that second challenge.
Yeah.
Like, it was insane. There was really no hope. 27 minutes left on the clock, and I was like, this cupcake better do something.
And it did.
And it did, yeah. So we're so grateful.
Yeah.
I think that's our attitude now. Gratitude always.
Completely, man. And you deserve it. You really do. You're just lovely people as well, which I think made the judges so happy to be able to kind of confirm. And I think there was a lot of nervousness, like, had they bet on the right horse? Were we going to get the right duos into that final and get the end result? Your showstopper was a showstopper inside and out. Now, I've been working with Golden Cloud for a while now, so I am quite emotionally invested in them and what they do and what they provide to the amateur baker there. How do you feel about Golden Cloud and Beacon now that you've come so close to those brands? You're a part of their ethos now.
I feel so grateful that both brands just came together and provided a platform that, you know, upcoming entrepreneurs can just showcase their work and just the opportunity to be here.
Just look what it's led to. It's provided the ultimate platform. Viewers need to know what's gone into this creation. Adrian, talk us through, because it seemed like one of the most complicated bakes, but you perfectly balanced everything. So talk us through this showstopper.
So for the top tier, we have the vanilla flavored cake. Which is so delicious and moist and comes out perfect every time. And then in the center, we've got a jelly bean compote, we can call it. With berries and the jelly bean. That was the challenge that we were given, to hide a jelly bean somewhere, so that's what we did. And then we've got a chocolate cake as well, with a caramel and a ivory cream caramel mousse. The top is a Rice Krispie treat using Beacon's marshmallows.
And everything that you've highlighted here were points that the judges were like, that actually deserves an extra point. Actually, that we haven't seen before. That texture we haven't tasted and felt before. You brought it together beautifully. What was the most stressful part about this whole journey?
The second challenge for me was the most stressful one, because there was a moment where we were just absolutely hopeless.
Yeah.
But I was like to her, like, just tell me what to do, how to do, I will do it. Let's just get through, let's just put something on the plate.
Because do you have, I know you've got a bit of a history there and you showed your class. Do you have a history of baking? Was this like the culinary arts anywhere in your makeup?
None of it. Wow. No experience whatsoever.
Oh, you guys are set. If you can manage this kind of balance in a relationship, you guys are set. I love it. 30,000 Rand in cash is great. Another 20,000 Rands worth of products to go to your dream. And this really is your dream. What are you going to be using the prize money for?
To fund my business, like everything will be going towards building it, towards expanding it, yeah.
What is the goal? What are you wanting to achieve? Where are you heading?
I want to own a gorgeous cafe on a corner of a busy street where people can just come in, have a slice of cake and a cup of coffee, or even grab some brunch. So I think that's my ideal goal.
What advice do you have for someone wanting to enter the next edition? Because we're going to have another one after how well you guys have done. Simone, what would you say to those people that are trying to pack up the courage to go out there and put themselves out there in this way?
I'd just say take the risk. You know, you never know what may come out of it.
And do it with someone who's got your back.
Yes. I just really want to thank you because really I can't imagine doing this with anyone else. The way you carried me. Oh, yeah, no, really just thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. I got you. I just want to let her know that I'm so, so, so proud of her for how she just got everything together and the ideas, we really just did a good collaboration, and I'm so proud of our teamwork.
No, you're an amazing team, and you are wonderful people, so thank you for being that. What the viewers don't get to see is what goes on behind the scenes. They don't get to see the small, intimate moments in the space. I know we put you through a lot. I know it's been a crazy, very tense journey, but you showed the kind of character that you guys have, and you showed what is possible with the right kind of intent. So thank you so much for making us so proud, for delivering for the brands as well. So much has been invested in this campaign, and they picked the right duo to invest in as well. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Spend a little bit of the money on like a night out. Just go and celebrate and treat yourselves because you deserve that. But we couldn't be more happy and proud to congratulate you as the winners of this amazing competition. So well done, girls.
Thank you so much.
And we'll look forward to seeing the next phase of the business journey as well, because this is how it starts. We've seen it on the show. This is the first step towards greatness. An incredible competition from start to finish. The love, the creativity, and of course the bakes were top quality. So watch this space, because Golden Cloud might just be back to find the next champion baker. In fact, I think they will, and it could be you.
Now, no one can resist crispy, soft bites of indulgent, cream-filled puffs topped with a layer of red velvet as well. And this is, I think, a bake that Adrian and Simone would certainly be very, very proud of. And we're going to attempt it. No, we're not going to attempt it. We're going to perfect it in this kitchen. Because Auntie Zoe was there just like making sure that the gas burners were good. I saw how you were doing that.
I even had to like make sure it's on.
Very careful in the kitchen. Okay, good.
You have to be careful.
So you're going to be in charge of making the...
I'm going to make our choux pastry.
Yes.
So we're going to make our little choux puffs, and we're going to start off with some hot water, and I'm going to melt some butter. So I was just going to get that in there very carefully because our water is hot.
Okay, good.
That's going to melt down, and then I'm going to add a little bit of salt.
Alrighty, that's it. Was that a little bit?
That was a little bit. That was a pinch.
Okay.
I trust the kitchen
I mean,
fairy.
if your fingers were like Shrek size.
A little bit. No, it enhances the flavor. So I'm just waiting for the butter to melt down. Then we're going to add our flour, and this is going to be a vigorous mixing process to get that choux puff pastry going.
I can't wait to see your technique.
I don't know if it's choux puff pastry or just choux pastry.
Choux pastry.
Choux pastry.
Choux pastry. I think we'll go with choux pastry.
That makes the choux puffs.
Aha.
Here we go. Okay. So we're going to add our flour.
Lovely.
And then once this is mixed properly, you obviously want to remove it, add it to a bowl and let it cool down completely.
Okay.
and that's when you will add your eggs one at a time once the batter has cooled.
Yes.
Because you don't want to scramble your eggs.
Okay, good. Okay.
There we go. So now we're going to let this cool down in this bowl.
Okay, wow, that looks amazing.
See?
Well done.
I didn't do too bad.
Well done.
And then we obviously want to now make our crema, our creme patisserie.
Our creme patisserie, which
Yes.
is this. This is what we're aiming for at the end, right? Okay.
So once you've now cooled this down, add your eggs. You can add it to a piping bag. And if you want to have the honors of piping out our little choux
Okay, this is on me.
pastry shape, that's going to go into the oven for 30 minutes at 180 degrees.
Oh,
and
man.
while you are busy there, I'm going to actually move this closer to me. And I'm going to start with our cream pat.
I'm
So I've
hoping
got
that
some hot milk.
This is kind of like what you're looking for, right?
Yeah.
Does that look right?
Go for it.
Pressure in the piping bag, and we're going to press it down.
I'm just going to grab the whisk from you.
Okay, go ahead.
So we're going to start off with our sugar. I'm going to add our corn flour. Give that a good mix.
I'll do one more here. So what are you currently making over there?
So this is the filling that we're going to be adding to our cream puffs. So now I'm going to add our eggs, and we're going to add the hot milk to this mixture. Now we need to be very careful.
So it doesn't
end up with scrambled eggs.
Otherwise, breakfast is served, everyone.
Breakfast is served. So
I think those look pretty decent. We've got 5 good-looking puffs, which I will puff up a little bit once they're in
puff
the...
up quite significantly. So now I'm going to add a little bit of the hot milk to this mixture while you keep stirring. And I got instructed to do it very slowly and very carefully.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, that was
That was
literally...
literally 2 drops.
Yeah. We'll be done with this recipe tomorrow.
Just giving it a slow whisk. And while you're doing
that's looking good. That's looking good.
It's looking good. It's looking good.
What do they call this technique again in cooking? There is a name for it.
I
think it's called tempering. When you add a heated substance very slowly to another core substance that doesn't
could react differently.
Goodness. That looks good. I think now you could probably add it all.
So now I actually think we add this here.
Oh, right.
I'm going to add this to the heat. See, this is
There
a
you go.
teamwork recipe.
There we go.
I'm going to add this back.
No scrambling?
No scrambling.
Yes.
It is success, and we do it very slowly. And then we're going to add our vanilla as well as the leftover butter.
Here we go. Vanilla.
And then we're going to let this cool. Well, we're going to let it cook down, but you have got the finished creme pat. I'm shortening the name now.
Creme pat or creme patisserie. And there you go with the butter. So once you have this, you've basically made this entire recipe. I'm just like putting in the finishing touches. But okay, we're going to add a spoonful of this beautiful
we're using our Clover Bliss red velvet. Ooh.
I'm going to go with just one.
I think you could be generous with that.
Okay.
I would.
I'll go 2
because you want a nice,
spoonfuls.
beautiful pink color to come through.
Alrighty, let's go here. So obviously that's going to be our filling that goes inside our beautiful puffs. And just make sure we get the nice consistency that you can add to a piping bag and actually end up piping. Check out the recipe, of course, on our website, expressoshow.com. So you get the idea. That kind of looks the part. And you end up with a filling like this.
So while you fill our cream puffs, let me just tell you that our Clover Bliss double cream yogurt, it is deliciously cream, it is thick, and it is also indulgent. And for an extra drizzle of indulgence, you can make a yogurt glaze with Bliss cream double yogurt, and you can simply add a little bit of icing sugar, and that is what we can add to the very top of our little puff pastries.
I think you missed that. Look at this. So we made small little holes at the bottom of our cream puffs, and then gonna just squeeze it in to make sure it's filled. Oh, go, and then you see once it comes out the sides. Oh,
there we go. I think it needs to be one of those. The minute you take a bite, it just needs to ooze with this delicious creme pat that we've made.
For presentation, look
at that.
Just let it do its thing, okay?
How amazing!
What it looks like. It's all over the counter. It doesn't matter.
It's called art.
Oh, I love it. I had art at school.
Yeah, that's how we do it. It's
I have my teachers proud.
What do you call it when it's like messy art, like contrast?
Interpretive art.
Interpretive art. There we go. Well, we have this recipe available for you. It's on our website, expressoshow.com.
With the creamy decadence of double cream bliss from Clover. Yogurt has never been so irresistible.
Made with love by Clover. Oh, you can make my day.
Your generosity can ignite a love for reading amongst our youth. Share your homegrown story. See Cadbury Story Edition packs. There's a glass and a half in everyone.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to it. Yes, it is your feel-good breakfast show. It's Expresso. And what a feel-good morning we've got lined up for you because, a ray of sunshine in the studio. We're joined this morning by singer, songwriter, and recording artist Empress Naftali, who sings conscious roots of reggae music for those who really are seeking healing, those seeking inspiration. If that's what you're looking for, she is the girl. And Empress Naftali is releasing her third album. It's titled Ebb and Flow. It comes out next week. And here's a taste of what you can expect from this EP.
Sons and daughters of Zion, 19 you hailing the conquering lion. Embrace the power, victory is on the horizon. Sons and daughters of Zion, 19 you hailing the conquering lion.
Come on, everybody. A very warm Expresso welcome to Empress Naftali. Empress Naftali, that's what I'm talking about, right? A ray of sunshine, and indeed you brought all of that into which is seemingly a very cold and gloomy Cape Town climate at the moment. Good morning.
Good morning. It's such an honor to be here. It's such a blessing indeed. I'm so grateful.
Third album. I always wonder, right, for an artist like yourself, I mean, you've had 2 albums before, and then you've got this third one coming out. What is that feeling like the days leading up to the release of the album? Are you feeling as excited as we are as the fans of your music and just eagerly waiting for that to come out, or are you a bit anxious and nervous?
I am extremely excited, having been on this journey, creating this album, and now it officially coming to fruition and being able to be out in the world, uplifting people with the message. I'm just grateful and excited and overjoyed for sure.
Man, because the thing is, you really have put in so much of your love and so much of your passion into this project. I know that you were mentioning to me earlier on that this project really was a collaboration between yourself and many collaborators from across the globe. Maybe just give us a teaser of the types of people you've had involved here.
Yes, so I have a feature with Ja Miracle. He's an artist from the United States of America. He's based in New York. He's originally from Belize in South America. And then the engineers that worked on the album are all from Jamaica.
What are you saying?
And one of the producers is from the United States of America, and the other producer's from Jamaica, and there's another producer from Malawi, South Africa, and Barbados.
Carry on.
So Barbados as well. So it's such an honor to be able to have worked with such powerful creators, you know, coming together and creating something so magnificent.
I love that, but the beauty of being able to collaborate with people at that level, and people from all walks of life, really does stem from the fact that you are so passionate about the type of music that you make. It's a male-dominated space or genre of music, reggae. How did you get into it, and how are you sort of existing and surviving in that space? Thriving, not even surviving.
Reggae has always been something that I've been passionate about, but it really came into the forefront when I started rising in Rastafari. And I've always been inclined to the musical sector, art sector, but when I started rising in Rastafari, with my faith being that I wanted to be a messenger of this faith that I am established in. And it's such a beautiful journey to be able to do that, because as I see myself, I view myself just as a messenger for his messages and to uplift his children through the works. And I've just been very persistent on the journey. It is male-dominated, but a lot is... It's starting to change. You can see the differences happening because there are a few more or a lot more artists that are rising that are female.
Yes.
And we have an opportunity to voice our opinions and our wisdoms and our truths. And reggae is really a vehicle of truth, right, justice, and universal love. And it's such an honor to be able to be on that journey.
Universal love is a big theme for you, and universal love certainly a big theme for our show. What can we expect from this coming album, and maybe the performance that you're going to be giving us a bit later on?
Yes, so this coming album is all about growth, spiritual awakening, gaining teachings from the Most High to guide you on your journey of life, encouraging strength, resilience, and persistence in all that you do. It's the ebb and flow of life. That's the title. The highs and lows, but despite the highs and the lows, the Most High is always unfailing in his nature.
It's a cycle. It's the highs, it's the lows, but love is the one constant. Empress Naftali is here at your Feel Good Breakfast show, going absolutely nowhere. She's going to be thrilling and entertaining us all throughout the morning, so you want to make sure that you stick around for that. And the album is coming out. Yes, Queen, put it here.
Give thanks.
Oh, lots of excitement on your Feel Good Breakfast show, but it's now time for us to hit that pause button and get reflective in another round of moments, memories, and more. And today's theme is all about family. Graham, Kat, you two ready to divulge, get emotional?
I don't know why I needed to say yaman.
Yaman.
One
love, one love.
No, I love these chats. I'm
I
ready
love
for
these
this.
chats too, because I really think we get to connect with everyone a little bit more. So the first question for today is, what was your family's biggest tradition that you loved? Kat, do you want to start?
I think I need to go to back growing up. There was something called Lala Voga. And it would be something that you'd do over the Easter weekend, where you'd go to church like from Friday afternoon until Saturday morning. Like all throughout, bro. And then you'd just be worshipping there throughout, and then the next morning everyone kind of goes home, and then you get excused from church on Sunday. But it was, for the community, it was a massive bonding thing, right? So I really liked that.
And it's a buntu. I love that. How many people have been speaking about the need for that level of human connection again? Communities to connect, to look after each other's children. We need to find that again. I love that. I think for me, my mom, you know, we both single moms now, how she was able to kind of craft out these little road trips for us. And every couple of months we'd do something, and it would be inexpensive, but it was just such a journey. And it was always the music that she played. And she was a big kind of 60s folk, so Simon and Garfunkel, that kind of vibe. And I just remember that feeling of getting up before the sun was up, and then she would make like a little Christmas bed in the back for me, and I'd lie there and I'd try and stay awake. And then as soon as like morning had broken would hit, I'd be like, I'm cold. But I just loved those magical journeys. What she was able to create was so little at the time, and I try every day to emulate that with my kids.
Isn't it special? Did she have the cassettes, the suitcase with all the different cassettes?
For sure, actually.
The patkoos?
The stinky like eggs and chicken and patkoos,
What about yours?
For me, I think family traditions was always, you know, when cousins, we spend a lot of time together. So I think for me, it was always when we went to Ceres and all the cousins were there and we got to really just, we're all 6 months apart and there's like 7 of us that's very close in age. So we always did everything together on our bicycles. We were the brown bikers.
And the brown bikers.
The brown bikers. Brown bikers.
Did you have like jackets?
and that's...
No, we had a theme song.
And that's about as thug as you can get, pretty much.
What was the theme song?
Brown bikers. Doom. Doom, doom. And then just kept saying this.
I just carried on like that.
I'm going red. Okay, this one is more family dynamics. The question is, are you the youngest, the middle, the oldest, or an only child? And how has that impacted you? And was there a family favorite?
I'm actually the oldest grandchild of our generation.
Okay.
So when the cousins start, I'm the
You're the
oldest.
Okay.
And how did that influence it? It's kind of, weird because all my cousins are a lot younger than I am. So there's always been that massive gap where it's like, do they address me as Abuti Katli, which is like big brother, or Malume Katli, which is like uncle. So the dynamic has been a bit like, it's changed.
Which do you prefer?
No, I prefer Abuti. Abuti is much younger, which is like where I'm at. Favorite, I probably think at some point, everyone was a favorite.
The seasons.
Yeah, exactly. There's seasons. Nobody has been a firm favorite all throughout. I think now we all are. We're just all on the same par. Yeah, and you?
That's always what the winner says.
No.
No, unfortunately, I was cursed with the most amazing older sister, so I was always the young'un. And she's just off the charts, intelligent and capable and amazing, and has just been doing amazing things throughout her life, and then I've followed in those footsteps.
Picking up the crumbs.
Yeah, I've just been like, hey, man, I'm going to play some rugby, we're just going to do some stuff. But it's been this amazing source of inspiration, right down to like subject choice at school, where I did subjects that I probably shouldn't have, like Latin, just because my sister did it. But it became one of the most enriching parts of my school journey, and it's been like that. And I think what I've enjoyed the most is she's gone on to achieve her potential,
right,
and also just sort out everything in her life. Like every challenge, she's been able to move past it, let go of her baggage. So I've had this like roadmap of what you can do, what you are capable of, every step of the way. And as soon as I felt like, no, it's impossible, Jen stepped in and gone, no, my friend. I think if you do it like this, you're sorted. So yeah, and I'm very fortunate to be the young'un.
Oh, but you're selling yourself short there. You've also hit your potential. You have.
I'm going to take you back to some of my school reports, though.
I'm going to take you back to.
Oops, I did it again to your heart.
You can rock a miniskirt, bro. Just saying.
So,
we've all witnessed it.
Final question for today. If you can describe your family in one word, what would it be and why?
Close.
Close.
Yeah, we're much closer now than we've
connected.
ever been.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Loyalty above all else. Most important element of life for me, and it is for them. I've learned that because of them. And when the chips are down, they step up. Absolutely love it.
Absolutely beautiful. Well, now it's your turn to answer. How would you describe your family in one word? Share your answer with us on Expresso's Facebook or Twitter page and use that hashtag #MoreThanARusk in your entry. The best entry will have a shot at winning 2,000 Rand in cash plus an Ouma rusks hamper. There are some T's and C's that do apply and they can be found on our website, expressoshow.com.
Brown bikers.
Doom, doom.
What? Brown bikers.
Doom, doom.
No, now you just changed it.
There's more in every dip with Ouma.
That new track, Inali, that...
It's a good beat, right?
Welcome back to it. Your Feel Good Breakfast Show on S3 on this beautiful Wednesday morning. We've got an incredible woman joining us in the kitchen. We are celebrating women in the food industry, and today we have entrepreneur Mama Bongi, who's here to share some of her favorite recipes. We're going to get into those cookies a little bit later on because she's very well known for her delicious cookies.
Yes.
But I think we're going to make something that we were saying now, Mama Bongi, is for an afternoon tinyana, for ikofinyana, nabantwana bazoenjoy it.
Bayithanda kakhulu.
Imandi nje. Lovely stuff. We're making a poppy seed loaf.
Yes. And I'm a big fan of lemon and poppy seed. I feel like it's a classic flavor that it's always gold. It's a winner.
Inali that.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Here's the thing for me, right? If I have lemon meringue or if I have a lemon and poppy seed cake, I want to taste it, if it doesn't get me, if I don't get that, I don't feel like you deliver it.
Exactly.
Well, by the looks of things, we've got enough lemon here to make sure that that is the case. All right, so where are we going to start, Mama?
Okay. I'll be doing the wet.
The wet ingredients. I'll be on the dry.
On the dry, yes.
Okay, and then this is for later on, right?
Yes.
But so that's going to be that's the drizzle. Because also if you like lemon cake, you got to have that drizzle with it.
Oh, yes. That's what that is over there. Okay. When you're baking, is it always important to separate dry ingredients, wet ingredients, and why?
Yeah, so then the wet ingredients, they just go on, it's wet, and then the dries, then you can mix them all together.
Okay, so it just eases the process of making everything. Okay, let's get going then. Over here we've got some sugar, it looks like?
Yeah, there is sugar, the yogurt, the egg, the cooking oil, the sunflower oil, and the milk.
Okay, lovely stuff.
So, this is on my sugar. I'm going to pour in my eggs.
First, there we go.
Then just
give them a little bit of a whisk.
A whisk, yes.
And I see you using the yogurt. Is that because you want that to react with the baking powder and the bicarb? Does that give it the air, the lift?
The air, the lift, and the softness, yes.
All right, so I'm going to get this together so long. Baking powder.
Then this is our oil.
We should go all the way in there with the oil. So are you saying then, Mama, that if you don't use the yogurt, would you get a loaf that is a lot more dense? So it's more, or what would the result be?
You will get the nice, instead you can also use milk.
Just normal milk?
Just normal milk.
Okay, so that's fine, as an alternative.
Yeah.
That's looking good. Okay, so the leavening agents went in.
Then I'm going to throw in the yogurt.
Could I be cheeky and add lemon flavor yogurt? More lemon.
Yeah.
Can you ever have too much lemon in a lemon loaf?
You can.
Poppy seed loaf.
No, but lemon it is nice. It is good to have it.
Excellent.
And our cup of milk.
Also, thanks to our team in the kitchen for just like all these little cute little bottles, and like it's always perfect, isn't it?
Like it's little straight off the farm, that little tiny little milk thing. I mean, bring back the days when someone delivered milk to your house.
And I'm also going to pour
in the glass bottles.
I'm going also to pour the lemons.
Lovely.
Lemon juice.
The lemon juice. Okay. And it's. I was expecting it. Why doesn't it curdle? Why does the lemon not cause the milk or the dairy to curdle?
I think there's enough other ingredients in there to emulsify, and especially the oil to hold it all together. That's why it doesn't curdle, but that's a good question. And I suppose if you leave that long enough, it will start to split on you.
Okay.
All right, so baking powder, bicarb, salt. Always in baking, we gotta get that salt in there.
Okay.
Poppy seed, lemon zest. I'm gonna give it a good mix.
Okay.
Mama, do you go wet into dry or dry into wet?
Let's put dry into wet.
Okay, all right, okay. That's done. While we're busy with that, Kat's gonna work on our
drizzle. And our drizzle, very basically, as I've just been instructed earlier on, is just some icing sugar.
Yes.
Right over here, and then some.
Just pour the
lemon in there. Okay. And then I'm gonna mix it up while that party happens there. Is icing sugar hydrophobic? Because it seems to kind of take a while to get in here. You know, it runs around the lemon.
What's the opposite of hydrophobic? Where something takes on water easily.
Hydro-friendly.
Then I am mixing now.
Hydrocious?
I think it just takes a couple of seconds for the icing sugar to be like, hey, how you doing? And then it comes together.
Ain't seen you in a minute, brother. How to drizzle.
Hey.
How to drizzle.
For drizzle.
And then, okay.
No, I'm not going to even do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Why?
I'm not going to do it.
You
no,
already
it's too easy. It's too easy.
All right, Mama. So it's looking like the mixing is going well. Am I doing okay
It
here?
is doing very well.
Do you want to transfer into this bowl? Or, like me, I like making my life difficult, and I'll find the smallest bowl in the kitchen and I'll do the most with it. Oh, you good there, Mama? Is it fine?
No, it's fine.
Okay, and I got a loaf tin.
Okay, so we're going to pour it in a loaf tin after.
Do we have to get rid of the lumps in this one? Or is it like a few lumps okay?
The lumps are never going to be there. We are going to remove all the lumps.
Ooh, I love it.
Yeah, when you mix it, the lumps will all go.
Can I also just say, I love when you can tell the OG cooks, the ones that know what's what. Forget your electric stand mixer. Forget the hand mixer. We don't. Whisk, spoon, and spatula.
The whisker, this whisker is right.
It's good.
So it does help.
It does help.
So, Mama, the drizzle, is that, did we get the consistency we want?
That is perfect, yes.
Thank you, Mama. Okay.
So this, I think it's fine.
Mama, when it's your off day, and I love asking cooks and chefs this, when it's your off day, what do you make for yourself at home?
Wow. Mostly, I love to make the spinach and maybe a bit of pap.
Oh, I love that.
Of course.
Papa le morojo.
I love pap no morojo, yes. So this is done. So we are going to throw it in
our loaf tin.
Our loaf tin. Yes.
Is that what it's called?
A loaf
I just called it a loaf tin. Okay,
for sure.
And you've greased it a little bit, Mama, as well?
Yes, she did. He did.
Okay, lovely stuff.
Oh, I was supposed to demonstrate it, to say it.
And no, not to worry. And
Mama,
that's going to be...
keep a little bit in the bowl.
Okay.
Because we have a friend, Zoe Brown.
Oh.
And she comes for the batter. So this is for Zoe.
Oh, for the batter.
So Zoe, this is yours.
This is for Zoe.
Clean up on bowl 1. You can check out the recipe on expressoshow.com. Thank you very much, Mama. This is absolutely beautiful. Celebrating
then we can bake it
wonderful women in the food industry.
For 30 minutes.
And then it looks like that. I love it. Thank you, Mama.
Then it's
and when we come back, it's time for the chocolate chip cookies.
Oh,
it's happening.
Yes.
There you go.
New Revlon Color Stay Matte Like Crayon. Play it up. Bold matte color goes on as easy as a crayon. Feels barely there. Super soft, 12 rocket poppin' shades. New Revlon Color Stay Matte Like Crayon. Wanna play?
Get planning for a much-needed Johannesburg urban lifestyle family getaway. Rediscover cafes, restaurants, bars, galleries, and museums to enhance your stay with our kids. Stay and eat for free or 50% off on second-room family offers. Marriott's portfolio presents a full and diverse range of outstanding hotels in Johannesburg, each uniquely designed with its own personality. Book now, emea.marriott.com.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Look, you're a really happy guy all the time, but maybe this will make you even happier. We're going to talk about spring and summer in just a moment. Yes, we are, because they will come back again, I promise. We're going to get into some of those beautiful decor trends that'll get you excited about the new season.
And then we're taking it back to the kitchen, my favorite place to be, with another installment of the Culinary Hotline Bling.
Ding, ding, ding.
But right now, it's time to find out what's happening in and around our world. Here's Kat for the news.
Yeah, let's put a pause on that sing and get into the news swing. All right, on the national news front, in his address at Richmond in KZN on Women's Day yesterday, President Cyril Ramaphosa appealed to men to take responsibility for gender-based violence. Ramaphosa said, and I quote, "This is a man's problem. We men are causing these problems, making women afraid to walk in pathways and streets. It's the problem of men who have no respect for women, who think they can do whatever they wish with their partners." He said the scourge of gender-based violence should be considered a man's problem instead of a woman's problem in South Africa. In other news, the Western Cape Minister of Infrastructure, Tertius Simmers, says the key road projects currently underway in central Karoo are progressing well. These include routine maintenance costing some 250 million rand on the N12, which links traffic coming from the N1 towards Oudtshoorn. Simmers says the project has created 317 job opportunities, 176 for youths and 87 for women. One of the appointed subcontractors is a 100% women-owned enterprise, and Simmers said sustainable economic opportunities for the local communities were also being created by the road projects. Taking a look at international news this morning, the Nigerian military says their forces have made arrests in connection with a deadly attack on a Roman Catholic church in the southwestern city of Owo some 2 months ago. It's not clear how many have been arrested, but an army officer said they would be paraded before the public after investigations. 40 worshippers were killed when gunmen stormed the St. Francis Catholic Church in Owo in June. Nigeria's government blamed the attack on a local branch of the Islamic State group. In other news, Donald Trump has said his Florida home was raided by the FBI in a dramatic escalation of the legal investigations into the former U.S. president. Trump said yesterday evening that a large group of FBI agents were at his Mar-a-Lago house in Palm Beach and had broken open a safe. The search is reportedly linked to an investigation of his handling of classified material. The FBI and the Department of Justice have not yet commented. Several boxes were seized, but no doors were damaged, and the search concluded by late afternoon. And finally, with dinosaur fever still very much rife, especially among the youth after the recent release of yet another Hollywood blockbuster on dinosaurs, comes the news that the new Dinosaur Interpretive Center at the Golden Gate Highlands National Park in Clarence in the Free State is nearing completion. Commissioned by Sandparks at a cost of some 83.5 million rand, it displays unique brickwork and design elements telling the story of the history of dinosaurs in the area. The center is expected to serve as an interactive museum as well as a scientific research station aimed at preserving the remains of the archaeological site where one of the oldest known dinosaur nesting grounds was discovered in 2012. Now, in that year, an excavation site unearthed the 190-million-year-old dinosaur nesting site of the prosauropod dinosaur, Massospondylus. Now, the center is beautifully situated at the bottom of a massive sandstone rock outcrop and has a rooftop vegetation that further ensures it merges with the surrounding landscapes and serves as one of those sites you should certainly visit when you are passing through the Free State. Well, that's it for your news headlines on this Wednesday morning. Let's take one more look at the traffic as you make your way.
Thank you, Katlego. Well, we start off with your traffic in Gauteng four-ways. Now, there's been an accident on the N1 southbound before the Buccleuch interchange. The left lane is obstructed and it's causing delays. Please approach with caution. Moving to the Western Cape in Kuils River, there on the R300 northbound, there's been an accident before the Stellenbosch arterial off-ramp. Now, all lanes are open, but please keep a lookout for that. And in KwaZulu-Natal in Pietermaritzburg, there's heavy congestion on the N3 eastbound. It's between Market Road and the Ashburton off-ramp. This is due to a stationary truck, so please use an alternative route and add some extra travel time to your journey. And that's a wrap on your traffic. Let's take a final look at your weather. And let's take a look at the weather. The U.S. Senate has approved a sweeping $700 billion economics package that includes $369 billion for climate action, the largest investment in U.S. history. The bill aims to cut the country's carbon emissions by 40% by the year 2030. Some households could receive up to $7,500 in tax credits to buy an electric car or $4,000 for a used car. Billions will also be spent in an effort to speed up the production of clean technology, such as solar panels and wind turbines. There will also be $60 billion given to communities that have suffered the most from fossil fuel pollution. The action on climate comes as the U.S. has experienced a wave of extreme weather, including a recent severe heat wave, devastating wildfires in the state of California, as well as lethal flooding in the state of Kentucky that claimed dozens of lives. Well, for our final weather update this morning, we had this one sent in by Pat Sunkel out in Montclair, KZN, with this stunning photo of the sun's yellow hues lighting up the sky with some palm trees in the distance. Now, Deshi shared this one from Silverton in Pretoria with a clear morning sky lighting up the surroundings. Roselle Scott sent us this photo from her neighborhood in Mariatsburg in Gauteng. Just look at the sky being filled up with different pinks and purples. And finally, we have this one that was sent in by Basil Gigaba from Port Shepstone with the blazing sun warming up the ocean this morning as the waves are crashing up against the rocks. Thank you for that. If you would love to share your sunrise photo with us, please do so on our WhatsApp line. That number is 063 408 8863. Here's a final look at your temperatures. Polokwane, your low is 8, your high 25. Mbombela, 12 with a high of 28. Sunny in Pretoria, 9 with a high of 23. Johannesburg, 9 with a high of 22. Mahikeng, 8:26. Klerksdorp, 6:26. Kimberley, 7:24. Bloemfontein, 1 with a high of 23. Sunny in Richards Bay, 14:26. Pietermaritzburg, 9:28. If you're in Durban, sunny day ahead with a low of 16, a high of 25. Mthatha, 8, reaching a high of 26. East London, 12:20, Cradock 4:26, Gqeberha 10, reaching a high of 19, partly cloudy conditions in George, 10's your low, 19 your high, Cape Town 10 with a high of 15 with rain for today, Worcester 8:18, Sutherland 3:16, and Uppington 7, reaching a high of 28 degrees Celsius. Well, that's where I leave your weather for now. If you have that early morning sunrise photo you'd love to share with us, please do so on the WhatsApp line.
The people we love are the ones that need us most. That's why I took out life insurance from Old Mutual, so he'll always get what he needs, even if I'm not there.
Speak to your advisor and help your family get ahead of life.
Let's open up to some insurance chats, because taking out life insurance is a big deal. It really is. There are millions of options out there with even more fine print. And the truth is, it can be very overwhelming knowing where to start and which cover to pick. It all can be one big, long, ongoing story. So this morning, I welcome back Kensani Baloyi from Old Mutual to help us navigate through all the fine print and help us really understand the options that we do have out there and how it all works. Kensani, it's so good to see you.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be back.
You know, I love that Old Mutual has a range of life insurance products, all coming with a variety of add-ons. Please take us through the main cover options.
As we know, no two people are the same, right? And that's why we offer a range of products, as you mentioned, which customers can choose from. They can choose to take out one life insurance product or take out a combination. And let's just first chat about the first one, right? It's called life cover. And this one pays out when you die or are diagnosed with a terminal illness. And the money that is paid out can be used by your beneficiaries for their living expenses or anything else that they need. And then the second option that we've got is called life income cover. And this one pays out a monthly income to help your beneficiaries take care of ongoing expenses. And then the third option that we offer is called last survivor cover. And this product covers both you and your spouse or partner as a unit and pays out when the last person dies or is diagnosed with a terminal illness. And then the last product that we offer is called accidental death cover. And this one pays out a single amount when you die as a result of an accident. And this is normally a great option to take when you cannot get other types of life insurance products because of medical reasons. And I think it's worth mentioning that all our payouts are completely tax-free.
Oh, wow. This is incredible. The fact that you recognize that no two people are the same means that you've thought about the different add-ons that may be applicable to the one person and maybe not so much the next person. What are the add-on options available for us?
When we think about add-ons, when we thought about, building add-ons into our product structure, we were really thinking about affordability because we know that this matters to everyone. So add-ons, just picture yourself walking into an ice cream parlor, right? And you pick your ice cream and you've got a whole range of toppings that you're presented with that you can pick from. So if you bring that back to insurance terms, those toppings are actually what we call add-ons. So if you take out a qualifying life insurance product, you can choose to add on other types of cover, such as illness insurance or disability insurance, to your life cover product. What this means is that you may actually find this to be more cost-effective, and you do, however, need to be mindful of the fact that if you claim from your other products that you've added onto your life cover, that will take away from your life cover payout in the future. Okay. Right. But you can structure it differently and choose to take out all these three products separately and pay a separate premium for all of them. And if you claim from one or the other, it won't affect your life cover payout. So that is what we call add-ons, and it really just speaks to affordability. But before making a decision on how to structure your life insurance products, it's important to get in touch with a financial advisor who's accredited to guide you on the most effective way to meet your financial needs and also stay true to your budget.
Knowing that someone can actually listen and assess my individual situation position really does empower me to be able to make the right decision and choose the right product and the right add-ons. But things happen, Kensani. Life happens. What happens if I suddenly say can't afford to pay my premiums?
Absolutely, life does happen, and we know how stressful life can become, during financially difficult times. Yep. And that's why we offer ways in which our customers can get that much-needed financial relief, during those very tough times. So, for example, we offer our customers the option to skip one monthly premium every year to give themselves that much-needed financial relief during tough months like January, for example. And secondly, I do know that there are a lot of people who worry about how they will be able to meet their insurance premiums once they have retired. This is a reality. And unfortunately, that is actually when you need cover the most, right? In those retirement years.
Yes.
And so it's important to be able to keep up with your premiums. And so we offer customers the option to pay premiums only up until retirement age, but continue to enjoy cover beyond. And then lastly, we also offer customers the option to take out what we call premium protection. And that means that your premiums will be kept up to date if you cannot afford to pay them due to an impairment, disability, or being retrenched.
Incredible.
However, if for whatever reason these options are not, do not work for your circumstances, and for whatever reason you cannot meet your financial obligations and you cannot afford to pay your premiums, please do reach out to your financial advisor before your cover lapses, because you don't want to leave your family exposed due to not being able to meet your financial obligations. So speak to a financial advisor, and they'll be able to give you a solution, you know, that can help you through this difficult time. And if you don't have a financial advisor, you can visit our website on allmutual.co.za/life, or phone us on 0860 60 60 60 to get in touch with one.
It always can be a conversation, Kansani. You know what? Thank you so much for joining us this morning and really unpacking the different types of options that are available to us, the add-ons that we have at our disposal through Old Mutual, and how these can help benefit us and secure our family's future. Thank you, Kansani.
Thank you for having me.
This is really fantastic. Now, reach out to the Old Mutual team and find out which cover suits you best and how you can customize it to suit your family and your budgets. You can call them on 0860 60 60 60 or visit them online. That's oldmutual.co.za.
What do you want to play?
The people we love are the ones that need us most. They'll always need a place to call home and opportunities to build their future.
Daddy, come.
That's why I took out life insurance from Old Mutual, so he'll always get what he needs, even if I'm not there.
Get 5 million Rand life insurance for only 509 Rand per month. Speak to your advisor and help your family get ahead of life.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Bum, bum, bum. I'm all about this new beat. Oh, and I hope that it is really within you on this morning as we welcome you back to your Feel Good Breakfast show on this Wednesday morning. And we have entrepreneur Mama Bongi in the kitchen with us. We're celebrating women in the food industry. And of course, if you have any questions for us, for Chef Clem or for Mama Bongi, please do join the conversation by sending us those voice notes to 063 408 8863. And this is the moment that we've all been waiting for. We're about to get a taste of those actual cookies that made Mama Bongi famous, the secret recipe. Is it still a secret recipe now, or now that we're going to be sharing it?
We have exposed it.
We've exposed it. But I guess it also, it comes with, there's a special love that you put into it when you're baking as well. But essentially, we are going to discover the recipe now. We do have a voice note that we'd like to listen to, and I believe this one comes from Melanie. Let's have a look.
What is the difference between a cookie and a biscuit? I'd love to know.
Oh, thanks, Melanie. Very good question. Is there a difference between a cookie and a biscuit? What would you say, Mama Boogie?
I think, yeah, there is a difference because a cookie is like a chunky cookie with the chocolate. It's sort of like a chunky.
Yes.
Then a biscuit is not chunky. It's like a flat one.
Oh, is it in the snap? In that a cookie is chewy. When you bite it, it's chewy. When you have a biscuit, it's like when you when you bite it, like, you get that. You know what I mean? The snap of it.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
I think so. And I think so. So, like, I'm all about the chewy vibes.
Yes.
And for some reason, I get more excited when someone says, would you like a cookie versus like a biscuit?
Yes.
Why is that?
That's right. It could also be a continental thing or a cultural thing where you're from.
I mean, in tell an American a biscuit, I'd be like, because to them a biscuit's actually like what we call like almost like a scone vibe.
Yes.
Americans, where you at? What's up with that? However, I'm team cookie.
I'm also team cookie.
Right.
Let's get these cookies. All right.
Do it.
Mama,
So this is the famous Mama Boni cookies, chip cookies. So already you have already mixed the butter. So we're going to put, this is the vanilla essence. We need to put it.
Essence that you add in there.
Let me do that for you so long.
And one of the crucial, I think I remember this from the many segments we've done before in terms of baking, you need to make sure that your ingredients are at room temperature. Very important.
It just helps it come together so much better.
Yes.
It's like people, when we're all the same vibe, we just come together. Get your ingredients to the same vibe.
Exactly.
There we go, there we go.
So then you pour in egg, and you beat
well.
the egg. Yes.
So one at a time or all together?
Yes.
All together.
Yes.
And then you work it nice and slowly. There we go, we like it. Of course, if you don't have one of these professional hand mixers, you can use your hand.
Yes, you can, but this is the perfect one.
Lovely stuff. Okay.
There we go. Turning up the speed.
I have a question for you, Mama. So since these are the cookies that made you famous,
yes.
Where did you learn the recipe from? Is it something that you kind of made up as you were developing your skills as a baker? How?
In fact, I did learn it from somewhere, but then I had to also add my own skills, add something inside.
Okay, Mom.
Then we pour sugar.
The sugar already creamed with the butter.
So here I'm going to mix the
dry
ingredients, which is the baking powder.
And that is there?
So
bit of salt as well there?
Yes. Then I'm going to mix here.
Okay.
Just mix together.
And that's going to go into our cream,
into the
butter and egg and the salt mixture over there.
Yes.
This seems like a very easy recipe.
It looks
You can't really make a mess of it.
But when you make it with love, it's easy, yes, but it needs love inside. Yes.
There is something about, like for instance, when you have those homemade cookies, and you know that it was a labor of love for you and the family to put them together, and you then store them in that container that you have to, when you have to ask, Mama, can I please have a cookie? And then you go to open it, you're like, oh!
Yeah. So then we are all going to put our ingredients, the dry ones into the wet ones.
There we go.
Then we mix...
slowly?
Yeah, slowly.
Oh, do you want to switch over to the spatula now?
Yeah.
Okay.
There
we go.
Spatula.
There we go. Okay.
And then you become an adult, right? And you don't have to ask anyone for permission for how many cookies you can have, and you just eat them all. Mama, do you enjoy your own product? Do you enjoy these cookies?
Of course I do.
So you never get tired of your own creations?
I don't.
But I mean, if you look at these cookies, you can't.
And then, Mama, as well, when you are baking at home, do you bake by yourself or do you bake with someone who's there?
I have the team. Yes,
Oh, so there's a team of people.
Yes, there's Sylvia and Prince. So that's my baking team.
Beautiful.
So I'm here busy here. They are busy there.
Ah, okay. So there, after this, I'm assuming all those chocolate chips would go in there?
Yes, definitely.
And then you would get the dough.
Yes.
That looks like that. How do you shape them? Do you take a spoon?
A spoon, yes. Just a spoon because it's just...
So, for instance,
chunky, yes.
like this? Or more?
It depends. We normally you measure just your own size which you want. So you measure on the scale. That is if you have a scale.
And then do you kind of, I don't know if this is what you...
No,
you know,
we don't do that.
Hey, as a non-baker, I need guidance. How do you shape them into what's going to look like that?
Okay, you can finish that.
Got this.
Mama.
Okay.
There you go.
So you just...
Okay, firstly work your mixture.
Yeah, it must be.
Mm-hmm. And you get a nice big spoonful.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Okay, my love.
Then, okay, so you do shape it a little bit and then...
We don't, yeah, just like this.
Uh-huh.
Just,
and then...
Because they must be chunky when you are
Good.
putting them in the...
Okay. And then obviously when they bake and they expand, that's when you're going to get those cracks and those crevices that form on top. All right. May I please taste one of them, Mama?
Of course.
Oh,
so these are the classic, those are the vegan ones.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah, these are the classic.
Some vegan ingredients. Okay, check out the recipe on our website, expressoshow.com. There we go.
Is it good? Is it good?
With a cup of coffee.
Come on now. Come on with it. Check out that recipe, expressoshow.com. Mambongi, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We really love you, really appreciate you. And thank you for sharing your love with us.
Thank you so much also for us being here.
It's a wonderful pleasure.
Yes.
And that's how we're celebrating wonderful women in the food industry.
I think that
this
one,
Women's Month. All right.
This one is the one which was going to come out nice on the...
Well, while we get this going and getting the rest of these cookies onto there, let's quickly take a look at what the latest trends are when it comes to redecorating your home and spring cleaning and making sure that everything looks in tip-top condition.
Oh, and before we get into the spring cleaning, which I'm super excited about, I think it's about time we talk about those bad habits so many of us have, and why not replace it with a new good habit? Whether it is reading instead of scrolling on your phone, or buying groceries for food prep instead of doing the unhealthy food orders that we are all so guilty of. Now, spring cleaning your life can be an opportunity to build strength, nutrition, and happiness.
Now, to get the conversation started, because it's needing to start ASAP, we asked you on social media, what are some of, the bad habits that you'll be spring cleaning out of your life this season, and why? Let's have a look at what everyone has said out there.
Let's take a look at social media. We have Rose Chetty saying there's so much to do, but due to winter season, I've been really slacking in my chores, so I'm getting rid of that right now. Hashtag do the right spring.
Bad, Rose. I'm glad you're changing that. Lucinda van Veek says, it seems like it's the theme, lol. I'll be spring cleaning procrastination. Oh, girl, me too, girl. Out of my life. At least the weather is warming up, so now it'll be easier. Hashtag do the right thing. Hashtag God game. Love to hear it.
So Charmaine says, I get upset when spring cleaning and everyone's sitting around. Okay, so Charmaine seems to be the hard worker in the house, and the little helpers aren't helping.
They're procrastinating, they're on their phones. We got one from Shanti Ramdas who says, need to spring clean my temper. Always build up a temper when I'm under pressure. Hashtag do the right thing, God game, and hashtag Expresso Show. And yes, that can happen when you're under pressure and you're suddenly overwhelmed. Sometimes that can happen, but there's always an opportunity to channel that energy into calm. That's how you get stuff done.
That's right. Are you planning on spring cleaning anything? Any bad habits?
I'll just spring clean my house. Because my bad habit is that sometimes I leave the house in such a mess and I keep saying, I'll do it later. So like you take off your clothes, just like leave them there and you go, I'll do it later. And then a week later, you haven't got a house. You have to like find alternative accommodation because your house
is a laundry basket
full of things.
Okay.
And timekeeping, I'm gonna...
Timekeeping, get better at it, you mean?
Get better at it.
See, we would love. So for me, I think I need to spring clean my phone. I have about 100 and something unread WhatsApps. And
many of them from me, surely.
1,200 unread messages. And if you send me a voice note, I don't listen to it.
Are you going to spring clean? That's going to change now.
Listen to voice notes.
Okay, so we all know that those habits, that like what Zoe's mentioned, they do require repetition, you know, to form a new way of doing things. Attaching your new habit to maybe a time of the day or day of the week will really help. I think start by doing that. Set a day where you do your messages, eh?
I think I'm just clean it all out,
Yeah.
and if it's urgent, they'll get back to me. How's that for an example?
Works.
Okay. Well, how about this for an example? Be creative and have fun making healthy decisions with delicious and colorful foods using either an air fryer or even a smoothie blender from Game to make life a lot easier.
Okay, so that's definitely for someone like me who sometimes does struggle to get the right kind of food in. Those smoothies, they do help a lot. Maybe as your relationship with good habits continues, because it'll start forming, be on the lookout for those positive outcomes. You know, like feeling healthier, feeling like you are improved, your mood is better, you're sleeping better, your performance is shining, and maybe aspects of your life that you didn't even expect needed to change. I think that's something to think about.
That's definitely something to think about. And what better way to settle into spring than with everyday low prices to get whatever you need this season. Now, store opening hours are Mondays to Fridays from 9 to 6, Saturdays from 9 to 5, and Sundays and public holidays from 9 to 4.
Here's something really awesome, right? The fact that you can also compare prices with their Price Beat Promise, which offers you a 10% refund. Refund, baby, okay? On the difference in price on any item that you've purchased. If you find it cheaper than a competitor within 21 days of your purchase, then you are guaranteed a price beat on that item. It's one of the things I love about Game. They've got game, man. So much game.
Do you own your skin? Do you wear it bravely, even when others try to dim its glow? Does it represent your strength, your heritage, or does it express your brave and unconditional love? New Look Ingrams, your skin, your brave.
Defeat your mucus monster, Mucofizz. Loosen mucus and phlegm for clearer airways. Brought to you by Pharmacodynamics.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on S3. And when it comes to a new season, it equals a new look. Now, you can evoke all your senses this spring and summer with the latest in homeware trends. Now, here to help us to set the tone for the upcoming season is architectural designer Zon Dumini. She's here to show us exactly how we can change and spruce up our homes. And I wish, Zon, you were here earlier, because I think it was 2 weeks ago, I started bringing in color into the house and I started painting, and I'm like, okay, sunnier days are coming ahead. I want to change up my space, and I wish I had your professional input.
Thanks, Zoe.
So how can we spruce up our homes going into the warmer season?
Well, the first trend is exactly as you say, at sunnier days. It's ironic today, but we're all yearning for the metaphoric and literal sunnier days. And that's actually coming through with biophilic architectural trends, which means bringing ventilation inside, bringing natural light inside, and plants. We all want lots of plants inside. We're wanting to bring nature indoors.
Okay, I love that. Now, I've been teased with the word barkitecture, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's the architecture of a tree's bark, but that's not.
It's got nothing to do
with that.
But it is about bringing nature indoors. And it's such a lovely trend. All these creatures that have been with us during lockdown, we're inviting them inside and we're designing for them. So whether it be in joinery that has dog food and cat food bowls integrated into the design, we're really making our furry friends comfortable in our homes.
Oh, and you know what I also love about a home is having those different self spaces.
Absolutely. It's so important. It's so good for our mental well-being. We are understanding now that the home is a cocoon. And we actually need to design for that. So whether it be small reading nooks, a desk to write your journal, or bathrooms, we're looking at spa ranges in our bathrooms, making it a ritual to bath, to enjoy with beautiful, comfortable towels, Woolworths towels that don't twist. That's what we're wanting to introduce into our bathroom.
And I love that we went plant shopping, so I had to bring a bit of greenery into the house. But I'm seeing quite a few like faux plants here in front of me. What is it about the greenery that we can bring into our homes?
So green is the new neutral. We're committing to it. We're committing to it. We're committing it into it in soft furnishing and in hard. You're seeing it in tiles and joinery, but as well in motifs. But you're also seeing it in how we want to live sustainably. So we're wanting to use cotton that you can wash over and over again. It gets softer with time. We're investing in pieces that have sustainable natures to them. And we're just wanting to cocoon and cover ourselves in sustainable and green.
Oh, I love that you mentioned cocoon, because I've been seeing these cocoon style curves coming out everywhere.
Yes.
And it's
that's
so
really
trendy.
about nurturing, you know. We're wanting to be held and feel soft, and that's what curves really bring in. It's that soft that makes us feel comfortable. We're seeing it in tables. You can see these rounded shapes from Woolworths. They're really being pulled through, and we're absolutely loving living within the gentleness of cocoon curves.
Okay. Well, we've got a little microphone there for you, so you're welcome to use that one for us, Zon. I'm looking at these beautiful pieces, and of course, everything here is from Woolworths. What are some of your favorite things to add all of these different elements into our homes?
So I have to say that the next trend that we have is as well gardening. And this is really where Woolworths can really add to the space, because they're indoor plants that you can bring inside or leave outside as a little bit of a trick to make everything look like you've got a bit more of a green finger. So I'm loving that from Woolworths and the opportunities and all of that.
And some of them are looking so real. I mean, this artificial plant, I am drawn to that. I feel like, you know, putting it on the shelf, having it hang down.
Absolutely.
And also adding hang plants.
All these hanging plants, all these baskets, they're from Woolworths. You're really able to add indoors or outdoors on your veranda. It just makes you look like you've got the trick, but not necessarily a master of the trade, yeah.
So not all of us are masters of the trade. Not all of us have the design eye. Excuse me, that you have. Now, for someone that's maybe a little bit overwhelmed with all of these beautiful things that I'm seeing in front of me, how would you encourage me to add at least one trend to my house?
I would really be bold with the use of a little bit of colour. I would look at the Woolworths range of motifs and really bring that in if you can, Zoe. Including maybe you can be a little bit bold with adding some plants to dining room tables and on your kitchen counter and just adding that green sustainability, loveliness to your home. That's what I want to do. I'm going to concentrate on that this weekend.
Oh, I'm loving that. And I love that you've brought all these different pieces from Woolies, even from the throws. You said green is the new neutral, so I'm loving that. The wall we painted in the house is a dark green, so I feel like we were on trend with what you are saying.
Absolutely.
And also, I think there are different fitted sheets that we have, that Woolies have to offer. And, you know, can I just say, this glassware here in front.
Isn't it beautiful?
It is beautiful, and it just reminds me of Grandma and Grandpa's house, that trend is now finally coming back.
Absolutely. It's always full circles and curves.
Oh, well, Zan, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for showing us how we can incorporate the greenery from the outside, bring the outdoors in. And of course, all of these things are available. It is available in the Woolies stores. You can shop it online or even on the Woolies app.
Oh, you are in for a treat now because more fire, man, coming your way because reggae singer and songwriter Empress Neftali is on the Expresso stage this morning as she gives us really a taste of what to expect from her third album being released next week. It's all of the hype and all of the excitement. This song is called Rise Up. Rise Up, man!
Dreamed of love everlasting since she was a child. Thought she found the perfect man, then things became wild. Never knew about the darkness hidden deep inside of him. All was revealed when the first blow made her head spin. Trying to proceed with caution, yet with each punch and kick, her dreams became shattered. The only time he found joy was when she was broken down and battered. Make no mistake, the queens will rise up. Thought you could destroy us, but we grow stronger. Left us empty, but the Most High fills our cup. Surely we will heal, for we can't endure the pain any longer. Another daughter of the soil, as innocent as can be, taken into captivity and exposed to brutality, exposed to destructive lust from which she could not escape, then released back into the world, but consumed by the shame of her rape, distrustful of every man and living in fear, as she still sees the face of a rapist in every man that dares to come near. Make no mistake, the queens will rise up. Thought you could destroy us, but we grow stronger. Left us empty, but the Most High fills our cup. Surely we will heal, for we can't endure the pain any longer. For all the sisters that have lost their lives, for all the queens that have survived the strife, may we strengthen one another throughout it all. May we stand together and break the silence. We will overcome this violence. We will overcome this violence. We will overcome this violence. Make no mistake, the queens will rise up. Thought you could destroy us, but we grow stronger. Left us empty, but the Most High fills our cup. Surely we will heal, for we can't endure the pain any longer. Make no mistake, the queens will rise up. Thought you could destroy us, but we grow stronger. Left us can't endure the pain any longer. Tell me, brother, how can you find pleasure and what do you gain? In defiling our flesh and in causing us so much pain, in every tear that we shed and spilling our blood on this earth, killing off the ones nurturing and created to give birth. Tell me, brother, how can you find pleasure? Make no mistake, the queens will rise up. Thought you could destroy us, but we grow stronger. Left us empty, but the Most High fills our cup. Surely we will heal, for we can't endure the pain any longer. Make no mistake, the queens will rise up. Thought you could destroy us, but we grow stronger. Left us empty, but the Most High fills our cup. Surely we will heal, for we can't endure the pain any longer. Surely we will heal, for we can't endure the pain any longer.
That's it. That is absolutely it. It's the Empress Naftali here on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Such incredible sounds, uplifting, yes, sounds of fire, of hope, of resilience, of knowing that even when you feel like you've been broken down, our queens will rise up, as they should, but as they do. Thank you so much for that.
Thanks, thank you so much.
Take lashes higher. New Revlon Eyes Wide Open Mascara. The curved brush volumizes and lifts lashes vertically for a wide-eyed lash look. Hemp seed oil conditions for healthy-looking lashes. Go higher. New Revlon Eyes Wide Open Mascara.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. So good to be starting off the morning.
Come on, no, so good. Come on.
Good.
Ah,
Yes,
that's
man.
it.
Yes, man. You know what's also good?
Yeah.
The thought that a healthier you actually starts with you and your plate. And so Koo will be taking us on a nourishing journey as Color Your Plate with Koo is back for season 2. And it's an exciting reality competition show, if you haven't seen it yet, where you can show off your real culinary skills and impress the land.
And we've seen so many people express so beautifully through food there. Last season, for example, you got to see talented foodies. They really were put in the deep end, okay? Thrown in the deep end. We got to see them cooking their way to the finale with Zandile Makoba crowned as the season 1 winner. And what a talent. You want to eat everything she makes.
Absolutely. And this year, it could be you. You can enter in 2 very simple steps. Step 1, take a video of yourself creating a colorful meal with Koo, and of course tell us why you should be selected in your video, and tell us your own unique foodie story.
Because there's a story in every foodie. Okay, so WhatsApp your entry video to 072-741-5357. That's step 2.
Absolutely, and we want to see those colorful plates, so get cooking today and you could stand a chance to be on the show and then win your share of prizes valued at R500,000, 500,000 Rand. So don't miss out on this opportunity. Mzansi's next cooking star could be you, and your journey starts now.
Color Your Plate with Koo is back on SABC2 with a flavor-filled second season that will have you eating better with Koo. If you think you're Mzansi's next cooking star, you have the chance to show us how you color your plate with Koo. Take a video of yourself creating a colorful meal with Koo and tell us why you should be selected. WhatsApp your entry video to 072-741-5357 to stand a chance to be on the show and win your share of prizes valued at 500,000 Rand. Enter now.
Well, often the culinary hotline, if you're still not sure what to whip up for dinner tonight or even over the weekend, we've got you covered with Woolies' Eat-In Italian-inspired ready-made meals. Now, they are quick and easy and super convenient dinner meal solutions. Now, Clem is here to show us how to make a lemon yogurt panna cotta bellissimo.
Bellissimo. Because you don't have to be Italian to cook Italian.
Oh, I
love this. I love this. So let's talk about some of the options. You can go for the lasagnas. And what I love about Woolies lasagna is you get the beef, but you also get the chicken lasagna.
Like an air hostess, beef or chicken?
Beef or chicken. And you know what? Just have both.
Have both. And what's left over is lunch tomorrow. There's something about a leftover Woolies lasagna that's just so much better the next day as well.
I agree, with a little bit of hot sauce. Don't even take it out the container, just like...
Yeah. You just reheat it in the container and then you eat it out of it.
And then obviously you get either your roasted tomato salad or you get your roast veggies. So it's everything you need on the menu completely sorted. But there's also dessert options. So what I've done today is I've picked the beautiful double cream Ayrshire yogurt. It's made of lemon curd. Oh. It is so decadent. It's a dessert on its own. However, again, there's amazing recipes you can do with yogurt. One of them is actually making a cake using the yogurt, and it's just so phenomenally delicious. But I also like panna cottas.
Ah.
They're kind of like fancy. People get intimidated when they see when they try to make panna cottas, but it's so simple.
What is it about a panna cotta that's so intimidating? Is it because there's that pressure of getting that creamy flavor and the setting?
The setting. The setting gets people, and a lot of times they pressure themselves to kind of turn it out of the mold. You don't have to. You can serve it in the dish as it is. Okay. But if you want to be fancy, totally. So let me just give you an example. This is one that we've set in these ramekins. If you wanted to take these out and just have the panna cotta sitting there demolded.
On its own?
Just dip this in a little bit of hot water, just to loosen it, and then...
Loosen the edges, and then you can tip it over.
But we're not going to do that today because I've actually made a beautiful cream to go on top. Okay. Let's get started on our panna cotta. So we've got some cream, and that's just busy heating up. You don't want it to boil, just a gentle simmer.
Slow heat.
And then to that, a little bit of sugar. Sugar's going to go in, and you can kind of regulate the sugar. Hey?
That's a lot of sugar. You like a little bit of sugar.
I don't think I was supposed to use all of it, but you know what? The thing is, you could totally... The sugar's not going to set the spice anywhere. So use your own little palate and decide, that's enough sugar for me, and I'm happy with it. So Woolies also have sweeteners, and I've been using a lot of the sweeteners now, they're not nutritive sweeteners, in my desserts, and it's the same thing.
Oh,
so
it adds that sweetness.
There we go. That's going to... As soon as the sugar's dissolved, use this. You're ready for the next step, which is blooming your gelatine, which is, I think, what gets people.
Okay, blooming your gelatine.
Right, so gelatine, you can either get the leaf gelatine or you get the sachets of the granulated gelatine.
Oh, this is cute. So you use a whole sachet. There's multiple sachets in one little box.
There we go. And I've worked at this recipe to use, I think it was one sachet, but you can obviously double it and it just makes life a lot easier. So what you're going to do before you actually use this, you need to add it to a little bit of water, and that's the blooming process. So it sets up like a jelly.
So tip it upside down. Can we test it out?
Yes.
Nothing.
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 Look how do you give it a shake now? No. Okay, so take the cream off the heat. You don't want to add the gelatine to the cream while it's still on the heat. Make sure you turn the stove off. And I add the bloomed gelatine to the, you can use your spatula, to the mixture. And stir it until it dissolves.
Okay, so now it's going to dissolve again.
Yeah. It sounds like a silly process. Why would you set it and then dissolve it and then set it again?
It's the process.
Trust the process. Follow the steps. So you can also break up the gelatin to help it dissolve a lot quicker. Then what we got is our beautiful yogurt. So like I said, it's a dessert on its own, but it adds such a beautiful, I mean, obviously the tang of the lemon, but even more creaminess. This is the double thick.
And we want that double thick.
You want that.
So here in front of me, I see you've got some whipped cream ready.
Some whipped cream, and I'm going to ask you just to swirl some more of the lemon yogurt through.
Okay, so we're going to swirl. How much is required for swirling?
Man, I think just give it 4 tablespoons. Okay, so in we're gonna go with our yogurt over here. And obviously this is a dessert you're gonna wanna make ahead of time because it does need time to set up. It does set up in about 6 hours, but I always do overnight for the best texture.
Okay, so if you're planning on a lunch, do it the night before, even if it's dinner the night before.
Exactly. A little bit of vanilla, because vanilla
so
and
just
lemon.
a swirl means I'm just cutting through it.
How do you do it?
Like it's a swirl.
There we go, you're doing it. There we go. That's exactly what you do. So what I do at home is I set these in clear coffee mugs, and then I set the panna cotta in there, and then I take this beautiful cream and pipe it on top. So it's almost like a little cappuccino.
Oh.
And it kind of just goes with the theme.
See, that's how I always pictured a baby chino to look like.
Exactly. What I want to do to finish it off is, I see they've already done that. They've piped the cream over the top and they put some lemon zest on. More lemon zest. So here you go. You got your microplane, you got your lemon.
This is one thing I always struggle with is lemon zest.
Because you got to kind of watch your nails.
I break my nails.
Did you already?
Do you want to do it?
I've got a solution for you. Okay. So what you did was you went like this.
Yeah.
Okay. What I do, because I like taking all the zest off and then not taking my nails off. We cannot cook today. It's just hold the lemon and then
move that.
Reverse, and then go tap that over there.
Okay.
And that's how you make it. Injuries happen in the kitchen. We do have a first aid team on the sides, fire extinguishers. We are professionals, though. Well done, Zoe.
I love how I'm zesting it. It's all falling behind, but we are getting there. We are getting there. We have this available for you at woolworths.co.za. Chef Clem, I am loving this recipe. Thank you for showing me how to make a delicious lemon swirl panna cotta.
Get the deals until the 21st of October, in stores only.
And how does Nigella say? It must have a?
Sexy quiver.
A sexy quiver, your panna cotta. Then you know it's ready.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Now, closing out the show is Empress Naftali with a song titled Times We Live In. The album is out next week, Ebb and Flow, and this is why you should be getting it. Take it away.
It's just the times that we live in. It's hard. grave you will be digging in. Things may be rough, things may be tough, but we keep holding on to the promise Jah has made, that even through the greatest tribulation we will still be safe. As much as there are battles that we go through, by maintenance of valor triumph will always be due. Keep on holding firm, just blessings we surely earn. It's just the times that we're living in. It's hard, but we're not giving in, as it was told from the beginning. Be careful your grave you will be digging in. It's just the times that we're living in. It's hard, but we're not giving in, as it was told from the beginning. Be careful your grave you will be digging in. Rastafari leads the way every single day. By being devoted we'll never crumble or sway. His glory resides in each one who seeks him. Victoriously through his power we win. Servants of his will, the love he provides sustains. Blessings abound for the faithful who maintains. It's just the times that we're living in. It's hard, but we're not giving in, as it was told from the beginning. Be careful your grave you will be digging in. It's just the times that we're living in. It's hard, but we're not giving in, as it was told from the beginning. Be careful your grave you will be digging in. Upfulness, faithfulness, precepts of him keeps us from sin. Upfulness, faithfulness, precepts of him keeps us from sin.
When something's on your mind, but words don't come so easy, think of all the other ways to say it. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.